Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 110 of Two Left Thumbs, your source of weekly gaming news, deals, and discourse. I am your host, Def Puppies, as always. Joining me on the cast this week, the man we mustache, many questions, Shaggy Steve. Dude, how are you?
Welcome. How you doing, man?
Welcome.
I'm doing pretty good, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, good, man. I'm good. I've had a fucking flat out day of between tip runs and tattoos and picking up new couches from the other side of Brisbane. I haven't stopped. It's been great.
Well, I've been geared up for a podcast for about an hour, mate. I actually thought you stiffed me tonight, so I'm happy that it finally did go ahead. Given
yeah, time zones are
Who would have thought in Australia, like where we're what 6 hours apart, that a time zone like that would be such an issue? But
we're still kind of in line, though. I think that's the shittiest part about it, right? Is we're fairly in line by about, I don't know, a few hundred kilometers maybe.
Yeah, not
sideways.
even.
Yeah,
it's just Australia. Like you got places like WA, they just didn't even buy into. They were like the one state of Australia. Like, yeah, no, we're not going to do anything with. We're not going to touch any of that daylight savings. So they end up sometimes 2-3 hours behind where we are, which is pretty funny. So
yeah, they're just doing their own thing over there. It's like, you know what,
pretty
we're
much
just gonna make up our own time.
Yep,
and then you've got South Australia. It's like, yeah, we're just gonna be half an hour behind everyone else. It's not even a full hour. Just half an hour.
It's so bizarre, isn't it? I think like New South Wales and Victoria, like the only two states that actually align. I think like Northern Territory and Queensland are the same, and then Western Australia have their own, and then South Australia, like, we want to be different, so half an hour. It's like, oh, whatever helps you sleep at night, that's fine. Yeah. It does stuff a lot of stuff up though, especially gaming and that. Yeah. Like if you meet people, like I was saying this before the podcast, like I come from a very heavy MMO background well before I started streaming, and World of Warcraft was like the game, you know, when you're raiding with friends and stuff. So trying to get time zones right when you're generally raiding with Australians, but there's 4 or 5 different time zones. So getting everyone at the same time can always be difficult, because a 7 o'clock start might be okay for Victoria, but then that's 5 o'clock in WA, or sometimes even 4 o'clock. So sometimes your raid starts so late, but it's early elsewhere. So, you know, getting everyone in the one spot at the one time can be really, really tough.
Yeah, there's a weird and wonderful balance. I've had that. I had that when I was playing Destiny, just trying to get raids together. It's just like, I mean, WoW is a whole different thing, because that's like 30 something people, isn't it?
Well, Classic at the moment now, so that's my last. I'm actually on a break from that. So I quit World of Warcraft about 2 or 3 expansions ago. I think the last one I did was Legion, to be honest, was the last. I think there was Legion, then there was one more, and then there's another one, and then Shadowlands. I think I'm like 3 or 4 expansions ago. So I quit and told myself I'm never going to come back to World of Warcraft at all. But when I started playing WoW back in 2004, I think it was, I didn't actually start playing until, was it 2004 when World of Warcraft was launched? Let me Google that. I'm pretty sure that's right.
Yeah, I think that sounds about right.
World of Warcraft release date. Let me just Google this real quick. I'm pretty sure it's 2004.
2004, November 23rd. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I just finished high school then, and then I jumped onto that. So I had a guy that I used to work at Coles, just stacking shells while I was at uni, and he was playing it, and he's like, "Oh, you should jump on and give it a crack." And yeah, probably one of the worst things I've ever done when you're trying to study and work, because it's a big, massive time sink. So I never played the original WoW. I think the very which they call vanilla. I think I got into that about a month before the Burning Crusade, the first expansion launch. So when they announced the classic WoW, you know, the pretty much reboot of the original game comeback, I told myself I wasn't going to play it, and I think I didn't for about 4 months, and then before I knew it, I was heavy into it again. So
just suck it in. Was it peer pressure, or was it just kind of doing yourself over?
I think because I was working full time as well as streaming effectively like 25-30 hours a week, it was kind of like that. It's not a difficult game, it's not a difficult game, but people seem to struggle being good at those kind of games. I don't know. It doesn't really attract like really, I guess like sweaty players, I guess you could say. Most people are pretty cruisy when it comes to the MMO genre. So
yeah,
I just thought, you know, I'm going to give it a crack. And then funnily enough, one of the organizations I actually did a bit of work with the streaming, which was Jam Gaming. I actually ended up joining their guild with one of my characters, and we rated all the way up to Nax, which is the very last raid of this version. And we had 2 raid groups. So we had 2 40-man raid groups, which is trying to organize that many people is an absolute fucking nightmare.
No.
Yeah, so we
no.
yeah, so we were raiding like one raid group did Wednesday nights, and then one raid group did Thursday nights, and then we had like an alt kind of like pickup group raid group on Sunday nights as well, which just coincided perfectly because I used to have Thursdays off stream and Sundays off stream, so I kind of just fell into those two groups. And then when Nax Ramus dropped the latest raid, I did a couple of the runs with him, but then they dropped the main raid group just back to one because pretty much a whole bunch of players got to that point in the game, and it's really it's an expensive raid to do. And Classic, you've got to grind a bit of money and stuff. So if you're a somewhat casual player, a lot of people kind of quit. And I just said, look, I'm going to take a break now because I did hear that the Burning Crusade Classic version would be coming out, and that's when I first started playing. So I thought, you know what, I'll stop playing it now just to give myself a little bit of a break from that until Burning Crusade comes out. And I think on the BlizzCon thing online about 3 or 4 days ago, they announced it. So I'm looking forward to that coming out. That'd be a good way to kill some hours, which is good.
I haven't caught the BlizzCon preference. I'm a terrible person. I haven't caught up with it. I've been pretty busy with work.
Well, they've literally announced that they're going to be. So, did you ever play any of the Diablos at all? I'm like a massive Diablo fan.
I missed out on a lot of Blizzard's games. I've never played WoW.
How old are you?
33.
See, I'm 33 as well, dude. And like Diablo 2, World of Warcraft, like those really Blizzard centric games were like fucking massive when I was like 18 and 19 years old. They were like the game everyone played. So
yeah, I was kind of away from gaming at that point. I was working full time on a remote island.
Fair enough. Yeah.
So
okay.
I won't
hold it against you then, mate.
I was out of there for a while, but yeah, the Blizzard games are something I've never really played. I remember my friend back in high school, they're like waiting for Blizzard 2 because it took a while to not Blizzard 2. God, I'm good. Diablo 2 to come out. And he said he'd been waiting years and years and years for it, and it finally came out. I was like, hey, it came out. And then then we waited about the same amount of time for Diablo 3.
Well, it's always funny. Every expansion I've played. So before I got in, the reason why I got into streaming was because so I don't know if I'm jumping ahead here. So tell me to shut up. No, man.
Let's keep going with it. I'm good. Let's roll.
So I've got like 3 really close mates where we used to play World of Warcraft together. This is like the Legion expansion. So there's like 4 of us, and we literally met online through World of Warcraft, and we played games together online. So when we were raiding in World of Warcraft, we only really logged on to the raids, and then we logged off. And then when we weren't playing that, we were playing like Diablo 3, or at this stage, we were playing PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. So we'll jump in 2 or 3 back when that game was like an absolute broken piece of shit. But it was really fun to play with friends because it was like, you know, you load in, you get a gun, you shoot, the game's over, then you load back in again. So that's what we kind of did in our spare time to to play games. And one of my mates, I'd never even heard of Twitch before or streaming or anything. And he actually sent me a clip. He goes, check this guy out. And it was Dr. Disrespect was playing PUBG, and it was a Twitch clip. And I checked it out. I'm like, oh, this guy's unreal. Like his production quality was nuts. Obviously I then got exposed to Twitch, and I didn't really think much of it. And then one night, I think I just like made an account on there, and my name was like Shaggy Steve 8639, which is actually like my BattleNet tag. So I made a Twitch account and then thought, you know what, this looks pretty easy. Let's jump into it. And fucking hell, 3 years later, here I am. So yeah,
it's always the way it happens. I had a similar experience when I started. I was just like, I got exposed through Destiny. I'm a bit of a late bloomer. And it was
Destiny
like
1, all about Destiny 1, but Destiny 2, that lost me, that one.
Yeah, I've dropped off Destiny 2. But yeah, back in Destiny 1, it was around King's Fall. When they started doing the raid-alongs and stuff, that's when I started watching them. Oh, this is cool.
That was really good content, though. Like that was fun to watch other, because the competition side of it was really good to see. Because back then, when the Destiny thing was big, Twitch wasn't really that big of a thing. Like, you know, the competitive gaming
very much growing. Yeah,
it was very baby-like. So you see the likes of like, that's back when like Summit and Shroud were like babies on the platform. Like Ninja was streaming to like. Man, I remember watching Ninja with like 250 viewers playing PUBG. You know what I mean? Back when he was signed with Luminosity and was literally just like a tiny streamer. To go from that and then jump on the Fortnite train was just unbelievable to see. So
growth. I remember seeing, I think the first experiment to Ninja was watching his a mate I used to play with was showing me his old Halo clips.
Yeah,
Like, you've got to watch this guy snipe. He is fucking insane. I'm watching it going, how is this? I can occasionally hit headshots. How the fuck is this guy pulling this shit off?
Was he? I think he was a Halo pro. That's like what he did, wasn't he? Before
that's how he started. Yeah. Before streaming, he was a competitive player on the Halo circuit, and that's how he kind of got into it. And then content creation kind of fell out naturally from there for him. But it was.
That's a lot of those kind of gamers though that have been around for a long time, like your Summits with your DayZs who came from CS:GO, and I think Shroud came from CS:GO as well, and I think Dr. Disrespect, I don't think he came from a professional gaming, but I think he made like COD maps or something like that. So he was part of like that little...
He was working for Activision for quite a while. I think that's how he kind of started off,
You find a lot of people that get into watching those kind of streamers, you think, oh, cool, I've just got to like play a popular game and I'm going to get a community. It's like, it doesn't really work that way at all. So
no.
It takes a certain kind of... I mean, I'm a big advocate for there's a market for everything on the Twitch platform. Like you could make paint paintings with your feet, or you could be like a Sims player, or you can said Destiny, or you could be just a chatting streamer. There's literally a market for everything on there. But these guys have like capitalized on the games that are like really popular in that time, and then they've built huge followings by doing that. So it's crazy to see, because you think, oh, it's easy, I'll just like log in, install PUBG, and wham bam, here we go.
Play popular game, get some good clips and get famous.
Exactly.
That's how it's supposed to work, right?
Well, the thing is though, like a lot of people that start stream, like if you go into like Twitch or YouTube or fucking Facebook or whatever the streaming platform you're on, I went into it not knowing anybody. So like my mate showed me a couple of clips and stuff, but like that time I used to spend with those blokes playing games, that was then replaced by Twitch streaming. And I kind of said to myself, I'm like, oh, I'll give it a little bit of time, see how we go. And if something comes from it, then cool. And I literally start off as like a PUBG streamer, and I'd actually play with mates. And the biggest mistake I made was you'd play the game, you'd stream it, you'd have a camera on, but you'd spend like the 3-4 hours just talking with your friends and not really reading chat or anything like that. So there's all these things,
instead of focusing on chat more, you just kind of like dead focus on the game, and people like, because it's what you're used to doing too, right? Like,
well, the thing too is you watch
starting out.
Well, you watch people like Shroud and Dr. Disrespect, and that's what they do. They don't actually really read their chat at all. So you have these like embedded behaviors where you kind of just become a bit of a, monkey see, monkey do. You see other people doing that and you jump in and try and do the same thing until you find like your niche, you could say, like with what you really enjoy doing. So, but yeah, it's been... Myself specifically, like I started back in 2000 and like late 2017 when I started streaming, which was our World of Warcraft guild had actually fell apart. So we were like in a top 10. I was playing an arcane mage, and I was like one of the top 10 arcane mages on our server. Like, not that arcane was that impressive of a spec, but that was the gear I had at that time. So my mage was like up there, and a couple of my mates, one was like a demon hunter, one was a paladin, and the other one was I can't even remember the class, I think a rogue. And we were just like real sweaty gamers, like, you know what I mean, killing raid bosses thinking our shit didn't stink. And then the guild fell apart, as happens a lot in MMOs. And instead of me picking up and continuing the game, that's when I said, okay, I'm going to quit now while I'm ahead, and then dedicate all my spare time into the streaming aspect side of things. So yeah, it was an interesting. It's been an interesting journey, to say the least. I've had plenty of ups and plenty of downs throughout the journey. So it's been a good learning experience, to say the least.
Yeah, that's kind of the way it goes. I've had quite a few as well. I've got nowhere near the success that you have. I'm still one of those tiny boys with my wonderful 15 viewers, if I'm lucky.
Mate, that's me nowadays,
honestly, man. I'm good with that. Hey, like I got to this point where I'm like, I don't have time to dedicate to trying to push the streaming and do like, the 25-30 hours a week and kind of get a regular schedule going. And now I'm doing like 6 hours a week if I'm lucky, maybe 7, because I'm trying to fit it in around work and family and all that kind of stuff. And I found this really good spot where it's just, these are my people, and we just hang out and talk shit, and I really enjoy that. And I think if I ever got to the point where I started seeing a lot of success, I wouldn't enjoy it as much. I don't think.
you go through different. So, like, obviously, when I started Twitch, not knowing anyone on the platform, you'll find a lot of Twitch streamers now. 9 times out of 10, most of them will like a friend of theirs streams, or they'll play a game and one of their friends is like, oh, you should try streaming out, or they've got that spare like creative time where they might make a stream as like a bit of a creative outlet, like, what I mean, just gives you something to do when you're not at work, or if you're studying or you're doing whatever, you're just wanting to share some content. So most people get into it for get into the streaming side of things as a fairly genuine way. You'll find a lot of people, and I was definitely like this, where you start off as a nobody, knowing nobody. And I went through the grind, had the 3 to 5 viewers and streaming 20 plus hours a week. And mine kind of just building blocked one after another. It was like 5, then it was 10, then it was 20, then it was 30, then it was 40. And then, it got to the stage where like I'd have anywhere between 120, 130 viewers, right? Which like at that stage when I got to even that size, like as an average, I wasn't happy, man. You know what I mean? Like I wanted more. Like I was,
the thirst is never quenched. You're just constantly chasing. Like I'm not big enough. There's more people out there that are bigger than me. And you're constantly kind of pushing that mark as well.
Yeah. Other thing too, like when you start growing as a creator, and then you start making, I made a lot of mistakes early on by like trusting people that you shouldn't trust so early on, and friendships that, and I'm happy I learned this, because about 2 or 3 months into my streaming like life kind of thing, I was playing Fortnite with a bunch of other guys, and they were streamers as well. And out of the 3 of us, my channel kind of was just a little bit ahead of theirs. And you could tell that there was a bit of animosity there. I didn't notice it at the stage. I thought it was like a bit of, general banter and stuff. But there's a lot of like behind the scenes stuff that went down. And I kind of just went, well, fuck it. I don't think this is worth it. This is not, what I'm wanting to do. And then I kind of broke away from that and started doing my own thing. And that's when I really found my creative juices coming through. And that's when I started really focusing on like the people that were in my chat, because I was playing games where I was playing solo. So they had my kind of like my full attention kind of thing. And then I started doing some wacky things that were kind of like my thing. And then, like I said, one thing led to another, and I never expected my channel to get as big as it did back when I peaked well over a year ago. But there's a lot of things that happen when you stream that a lot of people don't tell you. I'm a pretty big advocate for, sharing what I'm going through specifically. Whether or not that, results in people actually watching the stream, it's irrelevant. But I think it's always good. You should share that it's not always as great as streaming is, and as many great opportunities as I've had. It's definitely got its challenges that you have to be fairly mentally resilient, because something that you might start off as like a, just a basic hobby that you really enjoy, and then you get a taste of success and lots of subs. And, there was a stage there, man, like I've got a really successful full-time career, and I was heavily pondering quitting that to do this full-time. And
what changed your mind?
Well, I've got so my partner, like I'm 33, my partner's a little bit older than I am. She's got 2 girls. They're 13 and one turns 10 in May. And, we've got a mortgage and we've got bills, and she works full-time and I work full-time. We definitely could have made it work, but, it's just not consistent. Like you might have 1 month where you do really well, and then you might have a quieter month, you know what I mean? And then another month you might do awesome. That's why you see a lot of full-time streamers that are kind of on the cusp, like where they're earning, okay money from it. They're doing subathons every 2 or 3 weeks just to bump their sub income up, you know what I mean? So, and I kind of, my stream was peaking pretty well and my numbers and stuff were really good, but I just kind of woke up one day and I'm like, shit, is this really worth throwing like a 10-year career away to really dive into this? And you know what? I could have done it and I could have had a crack at it and it might not have worked. And I kind of kicked myself for not doing it a little bit just to take that risk. But, life and responsibility, man, takes precedence over, streaming. So if I was like a single, dude, if I was a single young kid living in my fucking parents' basement, man, and I was like, 20 years old and this is all I didn't have a partner or kids or whatever, I would have jumped like head first into that, man. I would have definitely had a crack at it. But when you're a bit on the older side and you've got responsibility, it's not really jobs and you know what I mean. Like
it makes it hard. And the thing is with streaming is constantly staying relevant is just a full-time job in itself.
Definitely.
Aside from, you know, the hours you have to put into streaming itself, it's like all that background stuff you got to do to keep up with people, keep up with trends, keep on top of socials. Like there's a lot that goes on
You'll find
to try to keep up with that.
You'll find that once you find your niche, it's not that bad. Like you'll find on Twitch that I think this is content creation in general. Like once you find your niche, so like if you're in your situation, if you're a Destiny streamer, then Destiny's the kind of game that's probably always going to be there. There's eventually going to be a Destiny 3. You know what I mean? Yeah. People are always going to like. So the game that really turned it for me was actually Borderlands 2. That's what got me from being like a 20, 30 viewer streamer playing Fortnite to Borderlands 2. And it was one of the, I might have just been like lucky, but when I was streaming Borderlands 2, I'd never played the game before. It's got like a really, really solidified community, but they're really, really small. Like there's not many people actually watching it. So
they're very tight knit though. Yeah.
Yeah. So when I was streaming, like I would stream in the Australian time slot and a lot of the bigger Americans would finish. So, you know, they had anywhere between 5 and 1,000 viewers, which I like idolized at that time when I was doing Borderlands. And every now and then the Borderlands community are like really big for rating streamers within their community. So I'd often get like, you know, I've been rated by a couple of the real big guys a couple of times when I was a very small Borderlands streamer. So, and I only did that game. It felt like I did it for like 8 months, man, but I only played Borderlands 2 for like 2.5 months. I did like a full playthrough of it. And that was it. And then I moved on to, what did I do after Borderlands? I think I did, I think Dead by Daylight was after that, maybe I jumped into for a little while. So DBD, once again, DBD is like, if I tell anyone, if you actually like the game and you're passionate about it, it's one of those games that's just like endless repetitive content. If you can handle doing the same thing, whether you're a survivor, if you've got that mental capacity to do the same thing over and over, there are so many streamers that have absolutely like blown up. A perfect example is Geef. He's an Australian streamer. He was full-time DBD streamer. He does like more variety and stuff now, but he built like his base on that game and then branched out from there. So DBD is like one of those games where if I was to tell anyone to get into streaming and they're looking for a game to play, that would be it, because it's never like at the top of the directory, but there's always enough people playing it and watching it. So it's just a little bit toxic.
It's sitting in the middle because it's not massively popular, but because the community is there, there's always that constant viewership that are always kind of going to be there.
But yeah, I got about 4 months into that place, man, and the toxicity. Like there are some.
Oh really?
I've got some.
Really?
Oh, dude, you have the community. Oh fuck, I could write a paper on what I experienced in a small amount of time there. So there's lots of drama amongst the bigger streamers in there too.
Right.
There's a big thing in the game which is called SWF, which is Survive with Friends. So the whole thing with Dead by Daylight is you join a lobby, say as a survivor. There's 4 of you. You go in there, you repair generators, and there's a killer that's trying to stop you, right? Now, there's no in-game comm. So if you're in a party of 4 survivors against 1 killer, then you've got that advantage of being able to communicate with your team. So the people that are streaming in the game, like say 7 to 10 to 12 hours a day, they would like sit in a party of 4 people and like absolutely shit on like really good killers. And then they like shit talk them. And then there was clips out of context. And it's just that. But on top of that too, man, like you just, I challenge you, just one night, go have a look in the DVD directory, look at like anyone streaming between say 5 to 30 viewers and just watch them. And I guarantee you'll find some little, because it's a really, really, seriously, it's not an esport game. Like anyone can play pickup. Anyone that's never even played a game before.
I've watched streams of it before. It's mechanically, it's very simple. You know, it's
so easy.
Not hard to pick up.
Especially as a survivor. Like, I mean, there's definitely ways that you can be better than the other person. But if you're like running like a meta perk build as a survivor with 3 friends, no matter how good that, like the actual challenge that game is being a killer. It's all about the mind games and knowing the mechanics and stuff. But again, on a difficulty scale, it's a very, very basic game, and the people can take that shit fucking serious, man. Like it's,
oh my God.
Yeah, so again,
I mean, it is with Dead by Daylight, but I mean, I've seen that in a lot of games over the years where like gameplay is fairly simple, but people just, the elitism and the sweats just comes out and it just ruins the fun for fucking everybody.
And you got to think too. on Twitch as well, like if you're a moderate streamer, say 50 to 100 viewers, right, and you have some little sweaty survivor with 20 viewers, and that person knows who you are, sometimes it might be a good interaction. Be like, oh, I can't believe that guy killed me, because I made a couple of pretty good friends here. Like, there's one guy by name Devi B's, like one of the most freakiest dudes at playing. He can pick up like any killer and just be a god at it. There's like Battle Mick, and he streams that game exclusively, and he's like one of the nicest blokes ever. And when you go to PAX and stuff and you meet these other streamers, the DBD streamers are like the nicest people, man. Like, I'm talking about Australians. Yeah, they are the nicest bunch of people. You can have a chat with them. They don't think their shit stinks. But yeah, again, I got a bit into it, and it wasn't really, I just got bored of the game more than anything. Like, I just couldn't do it for that long. I didn't want to like build my whole community around just that one game. You know what I mean? It was good. Don't get me wrong, but I just had my time and then just moved on.
Yeah, I ended up doing a similar thing. Like I said, I started with Destiny, originally to wind myself up to moving into Anthem, which
you poor fella.
I know.
Anthem
I was like, you know what?
Crash, dude. That was so disappointing.
Like, it was so bad. Like, I'll get into the Destiny community and I'll find my feet, get some practice in, start this whole streaming thing off, and then I'll move into Anthem and I'll kind of build my community there. Because
was that EA? Was it EA that made Anthem?
EA and BioWare.
Yeah. They fucked that. I mean,
man.
That had so much hype though, man. That game was like popping for like 6 to 12 months before release, dude. I pre-ordered Anthem, and I was keen to play it too, and then I refunded that shit when it came out. I'm like, nah, I don't want this at all.
I got in there, and I enjoyed the first like 40 hours. I had a good time. I played through the story, and like,
you
like
got further than I did. I got like an hour, dude. I'm like, refund, no, thank you.
So I played through the story. I had a good time, and then I got to like, all right, where does this go from here? Because this is like the big part, and it was just fucking boring. Like, there was nothing there to keep me playing. It had a lot of promise, and I think if they, told us what the fuck was going on and delayed it by a couple of years, it would have been a lot better of a game. It had like good gameplay there. It just had nothing else.
Were you a gamer as like a young bloke, like in your teens? Were you like a sit at home play PlayStation guy, or were you like out playing sports? What was your like teenage life like?
A little bit of both. So I was I actually started work. I'm a bit of a workaholic by nature, because I grew up my teens working full time. So I used to play a lot of Xbox. So I started out with Halo, GoldenEye, Perfect Dark.
FPS games, yeah.
FPS games is kind of my route, and then the occasional like the Need for Speed. So I think that's also why I kind of missed out on the World of Warcraft, the MMO, because I'm like, I wasn't really into that, and I just want to shoot shit and blow shit up, and that's kind of where I flowed in from there. Things are a little different now. Like, I think the first time I played Elder Scrolls was
I never
4?
played. I've never played Elder Scrolls
or
like Oblivion or.
Yeah, there was Oblivion. That was the one I played. I got like 12. I got like 10 hours in. I'm like, this is fucking boring. I'm never playing this shit again.
Yeah, you're either into those RPGs or you're not. Like, if you're the type of person that can get lost into those games, depending on your personality, then yeah. But again, if you're into like more fast paced, so with me, in high school, I was a bit of a late bloomer. I was like the same height as everyone. Then in like year 10, I like shot up and I was like 3 or 4 or 5 inches taller than everyone else. So I used to play footy and cricket, like footy in the footy season, cricket in the off season. And I think I was like 15 and I was at the basketball courts. One of my mates like, oh, why don't you come for a shoot around? Never bounced a basketball in my life. And that as soon as I touched a basketball, man, that like became my sport. I was playing it like in my teenage years, like I would have footy training Monday nights, footy training Wednesday nights, basketball training Thursday nights, basketball training. So footy was Monday, Wednesday. Basketball was Tuesday, Thursday. I'd play basketball Friday night, play footy Saturday morning, and then basketball Saturday afternoon. Then I'd play mixed basketball on Sunday. So my whole week was sports. Yeah, and then when I wasn't playing basketball, the guys, like, I was pretty good at sport, but I was friends with more the nerdier guys that played like Pokemon on Game Boy. And I had like a mixed thing. I was friends with like all the jockier guys because of the sport. But then outside of that, I kind of hung around with more of the introverts, which is really bizarre because I'm really extroverted. But I've always been a huge gamer. So yeah, I fell into the games that way. And then obviously, like, as adult life has gone on, my basketball went from playing 4 nights a week, dropped it down to 3. I'm only playing 1 night a week now. So
Yeah.
have to fill that time in doing something, right? So
yeah, that's it. Because I was playing soccer. That was kind of my thing. Like every week, every couple of weeks, got to the point where I got accepted onto a regional team. And at the same time, I got offered a chef's apprenticeship, and so I took the apprenticeship. And so I think I was like, I just hit 14 at this point. So like, as soon as you finish school, you can start. Yep. And
as soon as you became a chef, goodbye any social life. Working
goodbye
split
any social life. I couldn't make training. They're like, look, you can't make training. We're gonna have to drop your team. Like, that fair. That's cool. You know, it's totally understandable. I said, look, it's fine. Never really picked it back up again, and I've worked in kitchens.
Are you still a chef now?
Yeah, still a chef now. I've been doing it. I've been working in kitchens 20 years this year, which is wild.
My mum's a qualified chef by trade, so I know all about the life, man. Yeah,
and so
all about it.
Working weird hours left me with no social life, so that's where I kind of got back into gaming again to kind of like reconnect with people that I went to high school with, because a lot of them still played games. And
chefs
they were still at school, and I was at work, so I never saw them. So that was how I kind of got back into it that way.
And chefs just like, people don't understand, like, chefs working split shifts and stuff like that. You know, the money that you earn as a chef is not that fantastic, but the money you can earn is good, but you're normally working for it, you know, 6-7 days a week, and like putting in, like, I remember my like childhood. So I was like my mum had me as a solo until she met my stepdad when I was about 8. And I remember as a kid, like, we used to get up in the morning, and she used to work at this like little chicken shop, which was like a chicken shop where she prepared chickens and did like the chefing side. So I'd get up and I'd be at her work at 6:30 in the morning helping her with work. Then I'd walk to school, and then I would, after school, she'd pick me up, and then we'd go home, and then I would have a babysitter, and she'd go out and work at nighttime at a different restaurant. So I know all about the like, obviously I've never worked as a chef, but I know about how like it can really impact your life.
It's not so much a job. It becomes just an entire lifestyle. Like, this is who you are. All the people you hang out with now in hospitality, and you're just kind of stuck with that. So if you don't like it, it's easy. It's better to get out early while you can, because once you're in there for too long, you're institutionalized. And
once you're stuck in that web, mate, good luck trying to untangle from it.
Exactly,
it's funny you say that. I used to work at Coles supermarket, so I got a part-time job at Coles when I was like 9 months. And I worked in Coles all the way through like high school. Like, I used to work, you know, back when I actually ended up dropping off football so that I could actually work the job. So I was doing basketball only, which gave me a few spare nights and then weekends. So like, literally between school, working, and as well as sports, there wasn't much time in between, which is where the gaming side came into it. So, but Coles was the same, man. Like, I was with that company almost 10 years before I quit to get the job I'm working now. And to get out of that web, man. And what's more interesting, and you'll probably find that no matter where you work, is I had so many friends that I made in the supermarket world. And we used to like, God, there was this one guy, they used to live in his house, and there was like 9 people that lived in the house, dude. It was just an absolute zoo. No matter what night of the week you went there, dude, there was a PlayStation and beers, you know what I mean? And like, you would just have the best, but these guys, like, I don't know how they fucking lived there, man. That place was absolutely insane. But we used to go there like once. Was it
just a bunch of dudes living in a house?
Oh no, there's dudes with girlfriends, and
wow, so there's a whole society of people there.
24/7 party house, mate. Like, every time you went there, so it was like a really old Victorian house, which was in Belmont, where I am in Geelong. And it was on like a corner, and there were like 3 bungalows out the back, and then there was 5 bedrooms in the house, and there was like 2 living areas as well. So I knew one of the dudes that lived there, and ended up becoming friends with like all of those guys that went there, because we all used to just like drink beers, play table tennis, play video games. Like, we used to play NBA 2K on the PlayStation or Xbox, whatever console we were playing it on. And if like someone shot a 3 on you, you had a drink. If someone dunked on you, you had a drink. Someone stole the ball from you, you'd be fucking 4 or 5 beers down after one game, mate. Like, it was, and it was seriously. I think back, was like,
drinking games are the best though. Like, I think because there's already that natural, there's already that kind of natural competitiveness that comes with video games, especially when you're playing with your mates and you're on and you're having a few beers. and then to add shots into that when certain things are happening is
Yeah,
like
oh, dude,
chaos.
so
We used to do Halo nights where we get like 8 of us in the same room. And we'd have all the TV set up against the walls, and we'd play small
the old
maps.
LAN days.
Yeah, the old LAN days. And we'd have small maps, rockets, and energy swords. You die, you drink.
God.
The average lifespan was 27 seconds.
Did you ever play Perfect Dark? Did I hear you say Perfect on the 64?
Yeah, on the 64. I used to that's how I got into the social side of thing. I used to play a fair bit back on like older PCs. Like I think I started like Heroes of Might and Magic, and a few older computer games when I was a lot younger.
Yeah, so when I was like a really young teenager, we used to have, and remember the old like box TVs? So you'd play Perfect Dark with the screen split in 4. And we used to play pistol matches against each other with the alien sims in there as well, with one shot, one kill. And like, dude, that shit got like broken controllers, people throwing fists, man. Like that shit was young testosterone filled boys, man, playing those games was scary, dude. But seriously, good times, man. Like when you think back at it.
Some of the best times, right? You look back at it, like there's another time I like to recall this one fondly. This is back when the Wii was out. A mate of mine got a bottle of Jaeger and a case of Red Bull, and we played Wii tennis for 8 hours straight.
Any TVs broken from the controls?
No, remarkably no.
You're lucky.
But we woke up the next day with like legit tennis elbow, could not move our fucking
because you full get into it.
Like into it, and you're like diving around the room doing dumb shit. And it's so fucking good.
Hilarious. Yeah. So anyway, we've gone completely off track, but that's how I got I got into streaming that way. So I used to play World of Warcraft like really competitive with my mates, and then we'd jump in PUBG for just shits and giggles. Got shown a clip, made a channel, started off as like a PUBG guy, then went to Fortnite. Then I tried out Borderlands. So that was Borderlands was the first game I did, which had a really small community, had consistent viewers there, and kind of built like a base of people up. And then, went to DBD, went back to Fortnite, and then I started doing roleplay. And then that's kind of like my...
Talk to me about roleplay, because I've seen it. It's had like, I've only really noticed it in the last 12 to 14 months. Since kind of coming back to Twitch after Mixer shut down. And talk to me about how that works. Like, I know it's GTA 5 on PC and it's custom servers. How did you kind of get into this? Like, how did this start for you?
So when I was streaming DBD and stuff, I've always been interested in like policing and like corrections and stuff like that. I'm actually shocked I didn't end up becoming a cop, because I've always been like, you watch like the TV shows and stuff like with cops and stuff. I've always been like super interested with it. Yeah. And when Grand Theft Auto first like blew up, there was a huge boom. And there's a Twitch stream by the name of Moon, if you've ever heard of him before. Have you?
Don't think I have, no.
It's like Moon OW. I think it might be like an Overwatch stream. Anyway, he's like a big variety streamer. And anyway, I was flicking through Twitch one night and looked at roleplay, and No Pixel was like the number one that everyone was streaming on. And I like really enjoyed the police roleplay side of things, like where, people were literally role-playing police officers and arresting criminals and stuff. I thought that was amazing. So I started out as like a bit of a casual viewer. I'm be the first to say I don't really watch a lot of Twitch at all, because I just don't have the friggin' time. Yeah. I started out watching that, and then I actually ended up getting into Creator, Loserfruit, Bazagaza, and a few other like big Australian streamers. They got into this public server which was called AGN, which was Australia's gaming network. And anywho, they all tried to get onto No Pixel, but I don't know why they didn't. They might not have, because it's a pretty hard way to just get into it. Like, you kind of can't just go, hey, I want to be in this server.
Invite me into the best server just because you got to kind of prove your worth.
So they went into this AGN one, and I wanted to do roleplay because I was just so intrigued by it. And I didn't want to I couldn't get into No Pixel because I didn't even know the process or what to do with it. But I just wanted to try roleplay. And I'll tell you what, man, my viewership and Twitch interaction and everything was probably bigger when I played on not No Pixel servers. So I did that for I reckon I started around February, March of 2018, and No Pixel blew up in February, March at the same time when I was on these Aussie public servers. And I didn't end up getting into NoPixel until about July, August later that year. So I was on that server just primarily streaming roleplay for about 4 or 5 months, I reckon. And I played an Aussie cop on there by the name of Steve Strawberry, and it was really good because I was like,
I love it.
Because I was like a partnered streamer with a few viewers, like had like 60 or 70 viewers, man. Like I didn't have anything special at all. They just kind of let me become a cop, and then I learned how to do it. And it was just like fun, like improv role play. And I met a whole bunch of really cool people on there, and even a whole bunch of my viewers that used to watch me because it was an easier server to get into. They got into it as well. And then, I ended up getting accepted into NoPixel eventually. And then this back when it was a 32 slot server. So it was a very, very, very small server.
Yeah,
like
it was
now
very kind of exclusive spot to kind of get. Yeah.
Yeah. You had to get priority get in, which I managed to get priority in. I ended up bringing Steve-O from that AGN public server to NoPixel because I wanted to be a cop in the same server. That didn't happen, ended up becoming like a full blown criminal. And then, and then he ended up joining a bikie club, and it was really cool. And then I made the worst thing I ever did, and I regret it to this day because, again, this is like one of the biggest double-edged swords with being on Twitch is if you're not a Twitch viewer, you don't know what Twitch viewers like watching, right? Now, in roleplay, the cop viewers cops are not very well liked by viewers because you're generally chasing down people that have a lot of viewers, and you're stopping that person from robbing a store, or you know what I mean? Like you're kind of
their fun,
yeah, kind of. But then there's also like a lot of rules with being a police officer. Like when I joined the police, I had to do like it's all different now, but you had to do a paper application. So it was actually like a written application to join their police force. Then you have to make a character, and then I had a 3-on-1 interview. So it was me and 3 like high command officers in NoPixel I had like an interview with. And then I did like ride-alongs with them. So you just sit in the back of a cop car and follow other cops around and just observe. You don't do anything else at all. And then I had 2, I think they were 8 or 10 hour day academies. One was like a theory day, one was like a practical day. And then you become a cadet. Yeah, then you become a non-solo cadet. It's full on, man.
That's like full on, man. Wow, that's like you may as well join.
It was like having another
physical
job.
Training, yeah.
Yeah, so, and it's very different to like from a viewer's perspective, which, the sirens of a police vehicle can get repetitive. The role play is very repetitive. You're responding to a robbery, or you're responding to a house robbery, or it's very much it's like reactive role play. You're kind of just reacting to what people are doing. And I thought it was great. But that's kind of what really started that, plus work, plus being a cop in having all of that stuff, and then the channel not doing so well. So when I swapped from my criminal Steve-O to my cop Jim, that's when my channel started going down.
Right, yeah, especially if you've been on the criminal side before, where it was kind of a lot more popular, and then you've gone to where no one really likes the cops.
But the problem was
a small effect.
The problem was when I was in the AU cop, so there was a rule back when I first started as a police officer. If there was less than 5 cops on duty, you couldn't role play any other characters, and if you did, you'd get in trouble for it. So I would often have to be on cop, because if I wasn't on cop, I would literally get in trouble for not being on my cop. Does that make sense?
So it was kind of to provide a balance to the server for the people that were playing there. Yeah.
And to give you an idea now, like there's 16, so the server's 160 slots now. I started when it was 32 slots, it's 160. There's 3 cops on duty right now. I just had a look in the dispatch. So out of 160 people on the server, only 3 police officers are on duty. So that rule's no longer in force. Like you don't have to be on your cop anymore. They changed that a while ago. But in my big bulk of time of being a police officer, if there was less than 5 cops on duty, you had to be on your cop. So that kind of pigeonholed me to being on that character. And in the Australian time slot, there's a lot less prominent people around as well. So I say, like, I regret it for my Twitch channel, but I don't regret it for the role play, because role playing a cop is actually pretty fucking cool. Like what you do is actually, it's fun. And it leans into me. Like I made this really stupid fucking cop that just goes along with everything. And it's actually really mentally taxing that I actually have to like play a friggin' dumbass, but I just had fun with it. It was like really Papega and mess around. And this time around, like the NoPixel 3.0 is out now, which came out about 3 weeks ago, and they want cops to be a little bit more serious now. So I haven't been playing him at all. I've brought my Steve-O character back. I've been playing him a bit more. So But streaming's been really tough in the last couple of weeks with just everything that's going on. So
yeah, you've had,
but yeah, so
life and
yeah.
technical issues.
Oh yes. It's just the thing that's tough is again, once you find your niche, like if anyone's to ever know my content, like it was like people would say I role playing because I've done it for so many hours, but like I was partnered before I did role play. I've played many of other games, but a lot of the people that follow my channel would know me from streaming in NoPixel or my previous public server I was in. So if I ever tried to change things up or play different games and stuff, you know, it's going to affect your viewership no matter what you do. So
yeah, I find that with streaming variety, which I've been doing for quite a while now. It's like you have your regular crew that show up, but like when you jump in kind of from game to game, because I don't always particularly feel like playing the newer shinier games. I'm gonna play some small indies or whatever and just kind of bounce around to whatever I feel like. It affects the viewership quite heavily.
Do you know a game I would love to play full time if I like had the following for it? Would be Escape from Tarkov. If there's one game I could. Yeah, if I could play a game, stream it, and make YouTube content, EFT would be my go-to.
I mean, it's still not out of the realm of the possibility. It's still there. It's got viewership, or is it yes and no?
I don't know. It's really tough. Like I see. I'm like in so many different minds. So so that's how I got in. If we go like along the path, so then I did that AGN role play for about 4 or 5 months, and then got into NoPixel. Played my criminal character. I actually ended up hooking up with like a really big Australian streamer by the name of Whippy. He plays Erwin Dundee in NoPixel. I ended up hooking up with him like in the city, and him and I like we built like this huge massive motorcycle club together, and the role play stories we built together was just nuts. Like there was so much drama and like inter-club fights, and we recruited heaps of people, and I swear to God, man, that 3.5, 4 months of that like criminal role play with him was like, I think back to this day, just like how special it was. I know it sounds dumb and it's all made up.
Not at all, man.
But bro, just all non-scripted. Like none of us fucking spoke about any of this. We all just like load in one day, and one thing led to another, and it was really. It's really cool to be a part of.
I think, like, I mean, there is a good place, I think, for like scripted content, especially like with roleplay, which again, I don't have a huge experience here, but I've seen a bit of it around. But yeah, like organic stuff like that, they're just kind of, because it's bouncing back off other people, and if you have really good vibes with people and you gel really well, I think you can, like you said, can create something like genuinely special. And because it's so impromptu, anything can happen, which makes it more interesting to watch as well, because you're like, where the fuck is this gonna go? Is it gonna go anywhere?
So we would have so when I was like in my peak of like role play full on, right? So in role play, and again, I'd never had any role playing, like I never played Dungeons and Dragons, you know what I mean? You know, I've never been into the role play scene all until I got into the Grand Theft Auto side of things, and like I'm pretty quick on my feet. Like I can normally think of something witty to say on that time. But with the Steve-O character I made, so he was the Steve-O Strawberry. He was more of a self-insert. So he was a comfortable character. I role played me, but like probably like a little bit more assholey, I guess you could say, like a little bit more arrogant. Like I'm fairly confident and arrogant in real life, but in the role play, I played him as like more of a bit. But he came really naturally to me, so I could play him for 6 to 10 hours at a stage at a time, and I wouldn't fatigue because it wasn't
as taxing because it was so close to who you were as a person.
Yeah, it was really, really easy role play, and like just adding. So my character Steve-O and this Erwin guy, like Erwin was a fucking nutbag, and I was like the businessman, and I was the VP and he was the president, and him and I intentionally played that character to just like clash heads with him, which then the drama just like poured from the top down. So it all happened organically. And like I said, it was really, really good. But I got caught up with the whole worst thing you can ever do as a role play streamer is if you go watch someone else's stream after you finish. Like there was a couple of times I'd like finish streaming and like I would raid Whippy or whatever. And man, some role play viewers, man, fuck dude, they say some shit, dude. Like they say some really hurtful things, man. Yeah, and again, the big problem with roleplay, when you roleplay like a self-insert kind of person like I did, I took the shit personally. I shouldn't have.
That would be hard, especially like you said, it's someone close to you, and you're like, they don't like that character, but because that's like a self-insert, that would fucking that would
people
ruin you, man.
hated my I had a pretty decent following of people that just loved my character. But dude, like, because I played him as like the intentional offsider to that character, and he had a much bigger streamer like community than I did. Shit, man, like fuck. So because of that, I had a really good story with him. But at the same time as well, when that story came to an end with one of like the big arcs we did, is when I got accepted into the police academy on my other character. So I naturally had to leave that story because, like I was saying, with the 5 cop minimum thing, I had to kind of be on my cop more. So the people that were there initially to watch me on that character, Steve, naturally they would drift away because they weren't there to watch the cop role play. And these are things I didn't know as a streamer, because I genuinely thought people were there to watch the content because it was me streaming it. I was wrong. So this is the thing within
the character. Yeah.
This is the thing. Like, and these are like these layers of an onion of streaming that if you could go back in time, fuck, I would change so much stuff. But they're experiences that you've just got to go through yourself. But so if you're a Destiny streamer, people will generally be there for Destiny content. Like you said, you'll have your little core people that'll follow you no matter what game you play. But if you get 40 viewers playing Destiny, then go try and say play Diablo 3, you're probably going to have 10 viewers.
Yeah,
they're going to go watch another. Yeah, and so in roleplay, not only do you have the cop and criminal aspect, so you've got the roleplay, then you've got the cop and criminal, then you've also got another one, which is a civilian, so someone that doesn't do any crime at all, okay? Then you might play 3 or 4 different characters where some person will love one of those characters more than the other. And on top of all of that, because you're generally role-playing without a webcam on, so roleplay is the first time I've ever streamed without a webcam, like not having my camera up at all. People really do fall in love with that character and that storyline, and they're all the things I learned. So from swapping from my criminal character to my cop, do I regret the swap over from a Twitch perspective? Yes. But the cop role play is phenomenal. And again,
it's way too much fun.
It's a very, very tough whitelist to get into. Like, you get whitelisted, you get a better priority than other people as well. So if there's like, I could join No Pixel right now and probably be like one in the queue because there's not many cops on duty. So I could get in anytime I wanted to and get into roleplay. But dude, when you work a full-time job that's pretty challenging, you got a partner, a couple of kids. We've got our own business now that we do on weekends, and then you add in 20 to 30 hours of roleplay on top. And when I roleplay my cop, when I roleplay my cop, I'm not roleplaying me. I'm literally acting like a fucking dickhead, and that's so tough, man. Like, it's because I'm not a dumb person in real life, so playing this like stupid person can be really, really tiresome. So, but roleplay and No Pixel, the community is just phenomenal, man. Like, they've changed so many lives in that community alone of people that like were literally nobodies that now stream full time because of roleplay. So, but then you've got like the other thing with roleplay, dude, you've got like time zones in the roleplay. So you've got like the AU, the EU, and the NA. So lots of
different kind of groups that are interacting with each other.
If I knew now all the info I know now, back when I first got into No Pixel, bro, the things I would have done would have changed differently. But that's, again, I didn't get into streaming for like the money side of things, you know what I mean? But if I did ever want to do it, I would have stuck with my criminal character, and things could be much different now. But so that all happened, and then I was like my cop character and stuff, which is good. And then the thing that fucked my streaming was my partner and I, we went up to Melbourne one day. We chucked the washing on like we always do. We went up to Melbourne, went to like DFO, went to Costco and stuff, went shopping, had a fucking fantastic family day. Like, all 4 of us were out. Get home at 5:30 in the afternoon, and there's water pouring out of our house into the garage, and our entire house from back to front. So we've got a house that's just under 34 squares, was all covered in I'd say about that much water above the flooring and carpet. So our house was fucked. Like, I'm not even joking. Like,
dude, that is fucked. Was it just a fault with the washing machine, the overflow or something?
Yeah. So in the back of the washing machine, there was so there's a water waste hose. And that waste hose had split and got blocked, and the water just kept shooting out of it, and there was nothing stopping it. So it had been it's funny, we've got a French bulldog, and we open up the door, and my dog Hank's just like covered in water, having the fucking best time of his life. And
you guys left this for me. This is amazing.
Yeah, so he was having a blast, but that fucked everything with streaming, because I was streaming pretty consistently then. Like, I was streaming playing basketball Monday nights. I was streaming Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday off Sunday nights, and I was streaming so I work from 8:30 to 5:30, and I'd start streaming at 6 o'clock, so half an hour after getting home, and I'd stream through till like 1, 2 in the morning. And that was like 5 days a week. So it was really full on. but the entire house was fucked, man. Like we had like the people come out, they had to rip up all our flooring. My partner and the two girls were put up in temp accommodation for almost 4 months whilst they fixed the house.
Holy shit. How long ago was this?
So this is when my stream started obviously going down massively, because I had like 17 industrial fans in my house, and I had 2 in my room here, and they were like, I think they were like 110 decibels. Like they were loud. So I couldn't stream like at all. And this was in like, I'm thinking like maybe like March of last year, and everything didn't get fixed until like, it's like March, April, May, June, July. It was like August, September, October, around there when the house got back to normal. It was like almost $100,000 worth of damage, man. Like we had to get all new carpeting, all new flooring, like all the skirting in the house had to get done. There was a whole bunch of work that had to get done, man. So
yeah, water damage is water damage can be like, it can do like, ruin a house. Yeah.
So that happened, and because of that, I couldn't stream because my computer room was just in shambles. Like I had no carpeting. There was fucking shit everywhere, dude. The house was fucked. So obviously that's nobody's fault. Just shit happens. You know what I mean?
One of those things. Yeah, it's totally out of control.
One of those things just blew everything out, because my partner, she works from home, she's amazing. She'd have dinner on the table ready for me when I got home. Now, when they weren't living here, I'd have to make my own dinner. And then by the time I'd sat down after a hard day's work and I've got these machines blaring in my ears and stuff, it was like,
it was for it.
No, I just was so tired, man. So anyway, so that happened. So this is last year in about March, and that went on for like almost 6 months from start to finish of it getting done. My boss at work as well, he left, and he'd been my boss there for almost 4.5 years, and he was like my mentor. He taught me a lot. He like massive figure in my like professional life. Like I know a lot in my job, and I could always go to him if I had a question. He'd have an answer to it. So with him for 4 and a bit years, he left, and we got a new manager in at work. So there was like an adjustment period there. And then obviously the streaming, I kind of got back into it, but then I was a little bit just burnt out from role play and everything that was happening in life. So I did like just a little bit of like variety. So I tried variety out for probably about, I'd say like 6 or 7 months, man. So I dropped my streaming hours from like 25 to 35 hours a week down to about 10 to 15 a week. So dropped my hours back tremendously. I played some great games. I played like Detroit Become Human, which is fucking magnificent, man.
If you've never played that one,
I've got to do it.
It's on my list. I'm getting through
and stream it. Do it and stream it, and tell people not to backseat you, because honestly, dude, it is one of the single best games I've actually ever played from start and shit. That shit will make you like sad, man. I'm not going to ruin anything for you because it was great. But also did like I did a bunch of the Telltale games. So I did like The Walking Dead. I did Batman.
Yeah. The Batman one was great. I love that one. It was fantastic.
Okay, so I'm a huge in the corner there from like there across. They're all Jokers. Like I collect the Joker pops, and I'm a huge Batman fan. You can actually see Batman's. There's Batman's up the corner just there.
Yep. I can see them. Yeah.
I'm a huge Batman fan, so I was annoyed with the Batman Telltales because they just didn't go long enough.
Right.
So
okay, that's fair.
I did Telltales like Stardew Valley. I streamed a little bit of World of Warcraft when I was raiding in Classic WoW with that. Diablo 3. I streamed EFT for a couple of weeks there as well, and that was fucking terrible for viewership. Had a great time streaming it, but
what's EFT?
Escape from Tarkov.
Oh, Tarkov, right? Yeah, right.
Yeah,
I dabbled in that for a couple of times. I dabbled in it once or twice. I'm like, it's good. There's like so much you need to get your head around.
It's literally
I can't commit to it.
Unless you've got someone, aka called a Sherpa, so someone that plays the game and knows how to play it, knows where to go. I had this guy by the name of Made in Oz, aka Boost, and I met him through another partnered streamer, and he literally just held my hand for like the first experience of Tarkov. And without him, man, I would never have stuck with the game. Like I play the game mostly solo now, just in my spare time. But it's like a fucking very thick onion, man. And it's got so many layers. And if you don't, and it's really, really unforgiving. Like, fuck, man, you can spend a lot of money and lose that shit by one headshot, dude. So I enjoy it. It's a really, really nice game. I've made a bit of YouTube content and stuff on it as well when I was dabbling in YouTube in the time I was having off from streaming and stuff as well, which those videos have actually done quite well. I just don't have the time to like balance everything. You know what I mean, man? It's so I keep going off track, and I told you this would happen because I fucking once I start
I'm
rambling.
Totally I'm loving these stories, man. This is fucking fantastic.
Dude, yeah.
I love it.
So
it's great.
If we go back on track to what we're doing, so I went into the roleplay public server, got into No Pixel, did a criminal No Pixel for 4 months. Things were popping off, man. Like I was going, I'd fuckloads of subs, man. My chat was popping. I had heaps of viewers. Had this really awesome storyline. Then I became a cop, and I literally lost. Fuck, man. I went from really, really good viewership, dude, down to like 50, 60 viewers, man. Like it was an absolute kick to the throat. It was really, really tough.
That's rough.
And with that, then the gifted subs dropped off as well. And then I was kind of finding my feet on my cop character. Then all this shit happened with the house. And the thing with Twitch and streaming and social media and whatever is, unless you're like a really big streamer and you have like a huge community, if you step away from the platform for however long, that's going to fuck your channel. So even though I was really vocal about what was happening with the house and really apologetic and stuff, when I did make my return to streaming, the ship had already sailed, man. So it hurts because like there's so many like just regular people that you kind of I saw this meme on Twitter the other day, and it had a face of someone saying, "All right, good night, chat." And then it had like a face of like a Puppiez thing, and then like a sad thing, then a ... And then 5 minutes later, oh, I really missed them. And it sounds really dumb. And I know you're a streamer, but we're still human beings, you know what I mean? And when you get used to having all of these people that, you know, you're creating content for, and you learn so much about these people, man. You learn about their lives and if they've got partners and what kind of jobs they do. And you learn so much about these people that are just like words on a screen. And then when you go through so much because so many people come to Twitch because they're like trying to fill that time and get that social connection, right? And I feel like us as streamers, we offer that to them. Like, you know, we kind of become like kind of stupid therapists, I guess, like as a bit of an, you know what I mean?
There's this weird parallel between streamers and therapists. Like I've seen a lot of it where like people come in and like, well, not so much, but in other streams where they've come in like, you know, oh, you know, I had a real bad day, and they start telling you all these problems. You're like, I don't know how to help you. It's so difficult because you're like, I want to help you and I want to be there for you, but I don't know what to say that's gonna make this better for you.
Early on in my streaming life, I like would, you know, people would send me DMs that like really needed fucking help, man, and I like would do my best to chat with them and take the time out of my day to like, you know, I don't do that. Like I don't obviously get as many of them anymore, but I really had to step away from that shit because it just added pressure to not be what you are. But yeah, if someone comes in and said they had a shit day and they come watch your channel for a few hours and it makes their day better, you enjoy that and you get kind of like, you know, a bit of an inflated ego and stuff. So, but I had so much personal shit go on in the last like year and a half with like, with the house being fucked, with so many changes happening at work. My partner and I, we started my partner did, she jokes about this because I always say it's her business because it's definitely hers, but it is ours in a sense because we both do it.
You're helping.
Yeah. So as I was saying, you know, you said before how you're a chef. So my mum's a chef by trade, but she when she had my 3 younger brothers, she ended up pulling. So she picked up 17 liters of soup at work, and she pulled 3 discs in the top part of her neck. So she was off. She was off chefing, and then in the meantime, she started like doing baked goods and stuff. And now she's actually got a food van where she sells like a big massive food van where she sells food at like farmers markets and stuff. So
cool. I've got a mate that does that. Or used to do that for a little while. Yeah.
So I'm not a chef by trade by any means, but I could run that food van. Like I can make sangers and chips and all that because I've done it with mum for like almost a decade. So my partner said she wanted, she wanted to do.
It's very basic food.
Yeah, it's basic food.
Very basic and simple and easy to do because that's what people like, right?
It's hard work, bro. It's hard work, man. I sit on my ass 8 hours a day, man. So standing on your feet for like 6 and cooking is like tough work, dude. So yeah, we started a slushy business. Then COVID hit, man. So it literally has just been like 2 years of absolute fucking shit. So the streaming obviously took a bit of a turn, which again was a decision I made. Got to live with it. Shit happens, whatever. I can still role play now and still get okay viewership, and those same community people come back. So I can always get like that bit of an uplift whenever I want to do it, which is great. I'm very thankful for that. So the house was fucked. That was like 6 months. And then COVID hit obviously at the end, which meant I was going to the gym every day during my lunch breaks. So I put on during COVID alone, I put on over 17 kilos because I was sitting down at work all day and then coming home and sitting down. And I was going to the gym every lunch break and riding a bike and using a skip rope, and I was in pretty good shape. So COVID hit, and because in my job I'm classified as an essential worker, I've been stuck at work wearing masks, social distancing, and on top of all of that, man, you would think like in a global pandemic, finances and stuff would slow down. It's had the complete opposite effect. I have never been as busy in my job as I am now in my whole 10 years in finance. I've been like, I'm literally like not even able to have like full hour lunch breaks. So I've just got to like get my work done, and it's just constantly throwing on top. So COVID hit, which obviously I think everyone went through that COVID bullshit. You would have as well as a chef.
Yeah,
I can only guess.
It wasn't too bad for us up here in Queensland. I think I was only out for like 2.5, 3 months, which was...
I fucking hate you. We had 220...
I'm so sorry you went through that.
We had 200...
I'm like, oh no.
So we had a massive outbreak in Victoria and Melbourne, and Melbourne's like 64, 65 Ks away from where I live. I'm in Geelong. We didn't have a single case in Geelong, man, and we had stage 4 lockdowns, which means you can't go any further than 5 Ks from your house. Masks everywhere you go, sanitizing like a champion, social distancing, and it was just constant. And we were locked down for like almost 250 days. I think we were in Victoria. We were locked down, and this even gets better, man. So we just bought a business, or not bought a business. So we just spent all this money on slushy machines. We got a trailer built. We like invested all of this money into this business. We're going to get started. Bang, COVID hits.
No.
So there goes all of the markets and stuff. So literally we just have all of this like capital sitting there, not earning any income at all. We finally have had about 5 weeks, dude, of like markets and stuff. And the weekend, not weekend, just gone the weekend before that, we had like party highs and a big market plan for that weekend. And Friday at fucking midnight, we went into a 5-day snap lockdown, stage 4 again, because there was like this small outbreak in Melbourne. Again, dude, in fucking Melbourne, bro. Like it wasn't even Geelong. It was Melbourne. So yeah, it's been just tough, man. Like with COVID. And again, I can't even stress this enough. Like I've worked my job for 10 years and I'm just so under the pump at work. And there's only 9 to 5 in the day, and it's just so fucking flat out, dude. And by the time I get home and like go to the gym at nighttime or just do whatever, I just sit down and just like we'll play a video game and watch anime just to like unwind, man. I used to stay up till 2, 3 in the morning, dude. I get to bed at like 11 o'clock.
I still do at the moment, but I mean, I have a slightly different schedule to you, but like because I don't start till 10, right? So I work 12-hour straight shifts. So I start at 10, I finish at 10 at night. I get like a half-hour break if I'm lucky. Hour commute each way. I'm getting home at 11 o'clock. So
are you travel an hour to work, dude?
45.
Bro, I'm 3 kilometers. I'm 3 Ks from my job. So I drop out of bed at like fucking 20 past 8, man, to get to work at like quarter to 9. But like jealous. If I didn't live that close to work, man, I would never have been able to do like so Monday to Friday, 8:30 to 5:30, get home, smashed in a stream 6 to 1, 2 in the morning. So but once I got into that routine, I was okay, but there was a lot of things that obviously took a hit, and then with the markets and COVID and the house fucking up, and I've just kind of had just like this avalanche of shit happen, and right now, and then I was explaining to you just before we went on the podcast with my computer. So when NoPixel 3.0 dropped about 2.5 weeks ago, I got back into the routine. I ended up streaming like 28 hours that week, I think it was, and stream was blowing up, man. My Steve-O Strawberry character was doing great. I ended up hooking up with a bunch of other guys, the Aussie streamers like Jack Hutto and stuff, and a few other guys in the city. Like, in that first week, I became like a mechanic. I got a mechanic job. I became a stripper at a strip club, was hunting, was meeting all of these awesome people. And then that Sunday night, man, my middle monitor died 2 hours into my stream. Then I had to get the other monitor and hook that up, and had nothing but OBS issues. And then when I got my middle monitor, the middle monitor was having issues as well with drivers and stuff. So I've just had like one thing after another, dude, that's just stopped me from like actually being able to
constantly beating you down. I've noticed a bit of a trend with that actually lately. Like people that are having very, very similar experiences to yours, with like, especially with COVID and like the last year being the way it has been. I've seen a lot of people dropping off the streaming. Not so much like full time, but like because they'd had that time off, they'd had that time to reflect and go, well, is this worth kind of what I'm putting into it versus the stress it's giving me?
Dude, I could justify my 25 to 30 hours a week when I had like a really good sub income and sponsorships come out of my ass. And I could justify that to like, my partner and say, look, this is doing really well. But do you know what's really funny, man? Like the money I would earn from streaming in like a month we can do that in like 2 markets with our current business. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And that's like
so the like input is not worth the output if you're gonna like get into
it. I can't stress this enough. I never even ever got into the streaming for the money, and I actually ended up doing stuff to get money. So like people used to donate $20 and I'd get up and do like a dance. So they would choose like a Just Dance song. I'd get up and dance and sweat and they'd fucking kill me and they thought it was hilarious. So I also used to have a spin wheel. So when you sub to the channel, I'd do a spin wheel and I had like mystery prizes on there as well. And those mystery prizes were actually costing us more to purchase and in postage than what I was getting from the sub. Yeah, so I used to do all these like really cool things. I used to have sub goals and donation goals on my stream. And I like kind of woke up one day and just went, why am I doing this? Like, I don't even use this money. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm not doing this for the income side of things. So I took like, if you look at my overlays now, oh, hello. Mrs. brought a coffee in for me. Thank you.
Oh, what a champion.
That's how good she is. Yeah, so I took all that off. I used to have like sub count, like, you know, weekly sub count. I used to have like, you know, a weekly donation thing. And if I hit the sub count, I'd get up and do a dance and stuff as kind of like a, you know, a thing. But I woke up one day, I've got like nothing on my overlays anymore now. Like you might have like a camera like outlay for my stream, but and like I'll have a custom alert that'll come up when people sub. But I got rid of all of that shit.
Just kind of streamlined it right down.
I felt like such a sellout, bro. I know this sounds really bad, and I know people stream to make money, and you know, all the power to them that want to sell out and stuff. But do you know what I miss, dude? I miss going live, and I would like go out, have a cigarette or whatever, come back, and there's like 50 people in my chat talking to each other before I'd even turn my camera on, dude.
Yeah.
And nowadays, I'll push my go live button now, dude, and then go out, do whatever, grab a drink, have a piss, whatever, and then sit down. And there's like 4 people talking. You know what I mean? I would trade all of that again to just have like the people there again. That's the you don't realize how much you miss that connection.
Interaction. Yeah. It's
sucks, dude. But hey, that's
hard. Yeah, that's it. That's the way it goes. Like, I mean, again, with streaming, it's like, especially with everything with life going on, it is hard to keep on top of all that shit as well as your normal everyday to day, which is it's full on. Like,
we're thinking about a mustache drinking a coffee, by the way.
Oh yeah,
they're gonna grow a mustache. Look at this. So
I need to know how the fuck you did that, because this fucking looks like I've been sprayed with adhesive and rolled in fucking pubic hair. It's taking me years to get to this stage.
Are you wanting to jump onto the mustache reason, eh? So
I'm not sure, but you know, just some slightly better facial hair would be nice. So give us some tips, because I haven't stopped looking at it the entire time.
Everyone, I've had it for so long now that I don't like. I have kids that will like, I'll like walk past someone outside and they'll like walk past and you'll see them go. Like I just don't. I'm like, what the fuck are they looking at? And I don't realize that they're probably looking at my mustache. So I used to have a beard before I had my mustache, and I've got really, really bad skin. So whenever I grow a beard out, this is about 3 days growth at the moment now. I get a lot of like ingrown hairs around the baseline of my jaw here. And then when I grow a beard, no matter what oils, how much I shampoo, how much I exfoliate, no matter what, I used to get like really, really bad like acne and red sores around my mouth here.
Really? Right.
So what I did, when I shaved my beard off, I shaved it off and just left like just a little mustache. And I did it specifically to piss the missus off. I just did it because she's like, get rid of it. You look like a dickhead, blah, 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 blah.
Oh,
anyway,
that's perfect. That's perfect fucking motivation right there.
And because I'm like such a stubborn asshole, I kept the mustache and I've just had it ever since. So, and then when COVID hit again, I used to have it waxed all the time. Like I've got no wax in it now at all. I used to have it waxed up and like everything at work because it was part of my routine every day. And then 12 months of COVID, I've had like a mask on and stuff at work. So I couldn't actually have it waxed at all. So I didn't have to trim it or anything, but now it's just there. And I don't know if I could get rid of it, to be honest. It's kind of part of me now. It's a bit weird. You know what I mean? Like
it's especially with like become such an iconic part of like what you look like. It's getting rid of that would just like feel like you're losing just a little fucking part of yourself. The
thing that annoyed me though, and again, double-edged sword to having a mustache, the amount of people to come in and say X streamer has a better mustache, and you're like, I don't care. Like I'm not here to compete. I'm not here to compete about someone that's got a better mustache. I mean, my God, I don't really care that much. So
I just like my mustache, damn it.
Yeah, I mean they are cool. I tell you what, when I used to have like a really good, healthy looking beard, like even if I had sores and stuff, you wouldn't see them because my beard would cover it. But it just hurts so much, man. Like around my mouth and stuff. It's just because I've got bad skin. Like I've always had really, really bad skin. But when I had like a really nice beard and it was like, you know, groomed and everything, no one ever said shit, dude. I grew a mustache, and the amount of conversation starters I've had just from having a mustache is just unreal. Like people
I think it's because it is such like mustaches by themselves are such a bold choice, and they are like, you can have a nice beard and people go, oh, that's a nice beard, but because mustaches are so
they're so different.
Yeah. And it like, and they can be so unique. Like you can have like the whole Dick Dastardly thing going on. You can just have a really nice thick kind of mustache that's well groomed.
I kind of like it.
There's
like
nothing
this,
else on
honest.
your face, so it doesn't blend into anything. So it's more prominent, and I think that's what people notice about it more.
Well, I like my mustache as it is now, where it's got no product in it, so it's just that's like what it looks like normally. Yeah. But I like it like this, but then when I try and like eat food or have a drink, it ends up in my fucking mouth, man. It's so frustrating. But it's got to the stage now where I've trained it well enough that it does actually just naturally kind of go out now. So when I first started growing it, it just grew straight down like this. And it's just through constant like doing this all the time and having wax in it and also combing it, it just naturally has gone out the way that it has now. And again, I've had it for
around your mouth a little better,
Yeah, I don't even notice it's there anymore until someone really points it out, because I've just had it for such a long time now that I don't know what it would be like to not have it. So, and obviously that became a thing in my channel too. Like my custom alerts are a mustache. You know, people obviously know me. Like I had someone draw, like, you know, I've got that drawing there of me there. Someone drew it with a mustache. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it does become, like you said, a prominent part of your face. So, yeah, so that's really what happened. I had a beard, shaved it off, and left like this real just like pedo looking, like really just bad looking
just
mustache,
real
like
seedy,
yeah, because my face looks so weird without any facial hair, so I just left. Like it doesn't take long. Like I said, it's only a couple of days without shaving, and I've already started to get like a bit of a you know, a bit of stubble back there. So it doesn't. But when I freshly shave, I just left like a little mustache there. The missus cracked the shits about it, and I just went, okay, cool. You don't like that? Okay, well, this is what it looks like now. So
this is permanent now. Get used to it.
Yeah, you're not getting rid of it now. So yeah, and it's just has become part of it now. So but yeah, it's just funny how things kind of work out that way.
Yeah. I mean, it's always fun doing something to spite somebody. Half the reason I continued on with chefing, I was an apprentice, and I had another apprentice who'd worked in a fine dining restaurant.
One of those people, hey?
Yeah, one of those people. It wasn't even that good. And I talked to chefs that worked with her, and they had her cut herbs all day because that's all she could do, barely.
Probably did that wrong as well, dude. Like,
yeah, probably, yeah. But she's like, big rat, you'll never be anything. I've worked in fine dining. You'd be nothing but a pub chef. Blah 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 blah. And that
hey, what the hell's wrong with the pub chef, dude?
Exactly,
chef,
and that single thing is what has driven me now to like keep going and keep improving myself, because I mean, it's not so much that now, but like it was the initial drive that kind of kicked off how I got into that. And I ended up going and working in some fine dining places, and I fucking loved it, man. It was great. Hell of an
it's funny, like when people shit on you, like it kind of does drive you a little bit to like I remember I told you about, like, about 2 or 3 months into my streaming, I had like a bit of drama with other streamers and stuff like that. And the worst thing I can ever tell, the best advice I can give anybody as like a new streamer is like, just do your own thing. If you make friends with other streamers, that's cool, like completely up to you, but just keep your own brand to yourself, do your own shit, and try not to like either get people leeching onto you or get you know, don't get caught up in like DM conversations and stuff on like Discord and stuff, because that shit can fucking come back and blow up in your face real fast.
Yeah. I think I've always had a policy, just as I am as a person, that like anything that I'm saying in DMs, like the only reason I'm doing it is because it's something like organizing the podcast and like keeping my guests on the down low, so I can like work that out.
I've got
and things that people are uncomfortable talking about, like if they're having a hard time, whatever. But anything I say, like I always keep public, because I feel like that's who I am. Like anyone can read it, and that's me. I'm not going to be a totally different person in a DM or be stabbing someone in the back. You know, I am who I am, and it just works out that way. Yeah,
you'll find in the streaming world this so this goes back to what I was saying before about the roleplay world. So not only do you have like all these aspects in roleplay with whether you roleplay a cop or roleplay a criminal or a civ, that's a choice you make, whatever, like a lawyer or a judge or whatever kind of roleplay you want to do. Like the best thing with roleplay is you can do whatever you want. Okay. You're not limited. You want to be a serial killer? Cool. That's what you can be. You want to fucking make burgers for everyone? Then you can create a story from that. That's fine. So you've got that layer, then you've got the time zone layer, and then you've got the layer of, what kind of role play? Are you a street racer? Are you like a delivery driver? Are you do you rob jewelry stores? There's that kind of role play. And on top of all of that as well, then you've got the viewership. So the viewers that watch role play, people will like or dislike the kind of role play you do. There's a big Reddit as well where you just have to say one thing to the wrong person, wrong time. They clip it, they chuck it up on the Reddit, and people just shit on your character from it. So, there's all these extra things that you don't know about. And, but like, it's really easy as a human being to get like stuck onto like the negative of everything. And I felt just with so much stuff that's happened in my life specifically, I used to be like the most positively reinforced streamer, man. Like when shit was going well, you know what I mean? Oh, fuck, the sun's shining today. The water tastes better today. I was that, I would tweet that. I was all about the positivity, and people kind of vibe with that. But then when you start actually sharing, if you're going through hardship and stuff, you quickly learn who are your friends and who aren't. Like, I've got probably like less than a handful of people that I've got. One guy, there's one person who I have got a really good relationship with from Twitch. We met on Twitch. We've caught up out of Twitch before. We text probably like every day or second day. We're like we're like the same dude. It's actually scary how much like we think alike. We would probably kill each other if we hung out with each other too much in real life. We're that similar. But that's one guy I know I can go to, and he'll give me like an honest opinion. If I'm having a shit day, he'll always be like, oh, let me give you a phone call and have a chat with you. If he's going through shit, same kind of thing. We've bounced ideas off of each other. Like, he's just that one person that, and that's after 3 years of streaming, dude. Like, I don't know I could ever say that about anyone else. Like, I know there's plenty of people I probably could, reach out to from viewers and stuff, but I've been fucked over by so many people, dude. Like people that are mods. I had one mod, he was married, kids, like cheat on them with another person from my community and like cause drama there. And dude, I could spend like 7 hours with the amount of shit that I've like had to put up with in the streaming community. It's crazy, man. Like people on the internet are they're a different breed of people, my friend.
Yeah, I think a lot of that has to do with anonymity, like because no one knows who you are. You can be whoever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
And like there's no ramifications for that, because all you have to do is just fucking disappear.
Just delete the shit and you're dumb.
Just delete the shit and go on, yeah.
It's funny you say that, how you can just delete stuff and disappear. So the last, like, I'm normally pretty active and will chat in my Discord, and I'll normally try and put a tweet out a day, or you know what I mean. But the last like 2 weeks, dude, I've been so, like, when you sent me a message saying, hey, do you want to do the podcast? I was so thankful that I could just do something other than streaming, just to like keep my mind off of all the other shit that's going on, because I've just been off it, man. Like, I haven't really even been looking at Twitter, and I used to look at Twitter every day, like part of my routine. Tweet every time I go live. I talk in my Discord. You know what I mean? And the last 2 weeks, man, I've just not done any of that, and it's kind of been like really refreshing in a sense. I know it sounds really weird.
Not at all.
I've stepped away from a lot of that stuff, man. Like I've literally got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I got 12 DMs from people, and I know who they are, and I just haven't replied to any of them, because like they're all really nice DMs, like, hey dude, hope you're doing well, can't wait for you to come back to streaming, blah blah blah. I don't want to just deal with any of that shit right now. You know what I mean? I know it sounds really selfish, but I think you just need to be sometimes. Like, and the reason why I've got Twitter open is because I was talking to you. So otherwise, I wouldn't have even seen that. Like, I just sent you a message saying, "Hey, we actually still doing this tonight?" So I've had to do it like the last 2 weeks with work and stuff, man. I just had to like just fucking space it a little bit and just not have to worry about additional shit on top. Which is selfish, but hey, fucking everyone's selfish, yeah?
That's it. Like, I mean, you need to take that time for yourself, not only just mostly for your mental health, right? Because if you don't look after that, everything else is going to go to shit eventually anyway. If you keep pushing yourself and you're constantly there and you don't take those breaks, it's going to fuck you over in the long term. And it'll be when you least need it. So
Yeah, well,
it's
when
better
my
to
first like
do it all in moderation and go from there, you know?
my first like year and a half of streaming when I got affiliated back in 2017, like after like 50 days, man. Like it took me ages to get affiliate because, like I said to you, I didn't know anyone, didn't have any friends, didn't have anyone hosting me. I had like these 4 people in my channel and they came in every night. And this one person said in my channel, when you become big streamer, Steve, you'll never see me again. And sure enough, when I got to like 50 viewers, I've never seen that person ever again.
Oh, wow.
Like they've just
really stuck to it.
Hey, but they told me, dude, when I had like 4 viewers,
they
yeah, they were like, because some people like, they really like that, tight knittedness. Yeah, where
I tend to be very quiet in larger streams as well myself. I don't hang out in too many, and for the most part, they're normally ones I kind of lurk in, like with the larger streamers. And then like people that are like kind of around the 50, 60 mark, I'll try to chat. The smaller they are, the more I find myself chatting. Mostly because I feel like I'm a very slow typer as well. So
oh really?
Yeah, I'm very slow.
Are you like digit typer, are you?
Almost.
That's so funny.
Not quite, not quite the slow. I most of the time I'm on my phone because I'm faster with my thumbs.
I bet you are faster with your thumbs. Good. Note that down, guys. He's faster with his thumbs.
But so I feel like by the time I get a chat message out and I haven't made a million spelling errors, I've missed the conversation because things are moving so quickly.
That is so, like, I'm the one thing I like fucking thank gaming for is I'm a fucking demon on the keyboard, dude. I can type like a fucking champion. Like I only
started keyboard and mouse like full time, like maybe like 6 months ago. So
you got lots to learn, bro.
I've been a controller. I've been always like comfortable with the controller and using that. So I'm only just starting to pick up those skills now.
Hey man, dude, they're good. They're good skills to have. Like in my job, I do daily now. Typing obviously is a really big part of it. So I'm so thankful for it, man, because there's people in the company I work for that are say 5, 10, 15 years older than I am, and they are fucking slow typers, dude. So I save so much time because I'm just so fast at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a good skill to have. That's, like I said, one thing I've got to thank gaming for is being able to actually type on a keyboard really quickly. I'm thankful for that. So but yeah, dude, just the streaming side of things, it's been a journey of many ups and many downs and many experiences that you just don't. There's so many things that I've done in the streaming life that I never thought I'd ever do the stuff that I've done. It's so surreal to think, like, when you're playing a game like role playing and there's so many people there watching you role play and enjoying it. It's just it's so weird. And trying to explain that to people in the real world is fucking tough too, man. Like trying to explain that. Yeah. Like
streaming having really kind of coming into a main spotlight over the last couple of years, realistically. Even still, it's still having trouble breaking out and gaming in general.
I guarantee if you walk down the street, you're from Queensland, did you say?
Yeah.
Walk down the street, ask 10 people if they know what Twitch are. I guarantee all 10 people won't know what it is. That's
definitely.
Yeah, they'll go, oh, is that kind of like YouTube? And you're like, yes and no.
Yeah,
like, that's how I explain to people. I say, like, I stream roleplay on Twitch, and they go, what's that? I'm like, I think of YouTube, but like right now. And people are like, oh, why would they be into that? It's like, because they can interact with you in real time. Like, people really enjoy that kind of content. So, but yeah, finding your niche, finding a game that you enjoy. And as bad as it sounds, if you're like a growing streamer, you kind of need to find that game that you can play repetitiously enough to actually build a community out of, because God, breaking out as like a variety streamer, unless you're like already like a public personality or you're getting boosted by like another bit. That's another thing people aren't aware of either is there's a lot of streamers that will start streaming and they're just connected with the right people and they just get boosted into the spotlight.
It's just right time, right place, having the right friends.
The right
and
people.
It's not through any malicious intent for the most part anyway.
Most of it's because of this, you know what I mean, to make money. Because there is so much money in content creation, man. Like I never really broke that ceiling of making big money on there, but dude, I've seen a lot of the behind the scenes stuff in like sponsorships and how much people are getting paid to do the stuff that they do, and it literally is mind blowing how much money some people do make on the platform. It's just fucking it's just surreal. Like it's literally surreal, man. Like I don't even have words for you know what I mean? Like I'm talking like your big people too that are getting paid like, 150, 200K USD a month like we wouldn't even see that in like 4 or 5 years of working. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like, it's
God,
just,
no, yeah.
and like, just to think that like that grand scheme of money, like, hell yeah, you definitely would stream 25, 35 hours a week. So finding that balance, like if you're an older person, like you and I, we're in our 30s, you know, got a partner, got kids and stuff, trying to find that balance of streaming consistently to a schedule, as well as working and sleeping and getting all those things in between. It's unless you're like really, really fucking psychotic like I was for a little while there. The only break I was having in like that first year and a half of streaming was we would go on overseas holidays for like 2 weeks at a time.
Yeah, just take that time off, and
that was the only break I got from streaming. And every time I went on a holiday, dude, I like shit bricks that I'd come back to like no viewers. It was
that fear has got to be something that's going to be a fucking monster to deal with, especially when you're trying to like chill the fuck out and have a good time.
Yeah, it's just dude, like I got into Twitch as a good time, and I like it's definitely a very hobby based thing for me that I enjoy doing now. But there was a period there, man, like if I had a bad streaming night, it would fuck me, dude. Like I'd be so mentally just down from it. Like now when I stream, so since I got back into it that 1 week I did stream on No Pixel for an entire week, I haven't looked at any of my stats for that, man. Like I haven't looked at, I don't have my viewer count up when I'm streaming, so I can't see how many viewers I've got, but I can generally tell by like the chat interaction, how a stream is going. And there was a couple of streams there where the chat was popping the whole time and had a good time. And there was a couple of streams there where the chat was pretty slow throughout the night. And I just felt instantly like a fucking dick at the end of the stream. Like, oh, was that boring? You know, did people not enjoy that? What was wrong with that? You know what I mean? Going down that analytical path, which is just
like, why weren't people talking? You know, what's going on?
Yeah, what was I doing wrong? You know, was it just not fun to watch? And yeah, just so there's all these things that you just learn on the go as a streamer. And again, it comes across as like really negative, but I think it's not negative. It's just a lot of people don't know about this kind of stuff from streaming. They think it's all just like
realistic. It's just a realist. Like that's what it is. Like it's nothing else. It's not trying to put a bad spin on it or deter people from it. It's just how it is. Like it's.
Do you know what's really scary though? Is like, think about someone that does live with their parents. They're like a professional gamer of some sorts in, say, Fortnite, right? They go to school, they finish school, they're 18, and they stream full time for 2-3 years on Twitch, and they do really well. What happens at like the age of, and this is just the way my head works, like what happens at the age of like 25 or 30 when then they've got a partner and kids and their only life skill is playing a video game on Twitch?
Yeah, that's always been something I'm interested to see how it turns out, because obviously we're not seeing a lot of it now, but I think in the coming years, like in the next 4 to 5 years, we're going to see a lot of that where people are coming out of like, you know, all right, it's time for me to put down stream. Some of them will move into, I'm assuming, television and other entertainment through that way and bridge out there because they have those skills of performance and community building and all that kind of stuff. So that is handy, but yeah, they like if they've been doing this their entire time, you know, in their parents' basement since they were like 17, 18, right the way through.
Yeah, I mean, even if they
any, like life work skills.
So I think the ones that are lucky enough to actually obviously move out from their parents, or even because like take Summit for example, I'm pretty sure Summit's family live with him. Like I'm certain
really?
he's like, I think so. I could be wrong, but I'm fairly. You probably find a lot of. It's really common. Like if you're a big streamer, especially in America, you live in like a streamer house with like 6 or 7 other streamers. That's like a really. Which I think is a good thing as a content creator, because then when you finish streaming, you flick your camera off and you walk out of your room and you see people. That's really important because you need those like life skills, because when you're sitting in front of a camera for, you know, and you're not getting like that human interaction, you know, that's a massive life skill that people need to have. So, you know, that's what I think that's kind of, if you're one of the unlucky ones that, you know, you might be doing well enough right now, you know, streaming to maybe 100, 200 viewers and doing pretty good on the platform, but, you know, not well enough that you can kind of move out and support yourself kind of thing. When you get to like 24, 25 and you haven't really, you know, studied or worked any part-time job and stuff, it's like, what do you I know from my perspective, right? Yeah, like if I'm hiring someone from work and someone comes to me and they've got no job experience at all, I'm going to go for that kid that's been working at Macca's for 6 years. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like,
it's
scary, man.
This is my first job and I have no formal training. This guy's worked in 3 other jobs, had nothing to do with it, but you're obviously going to go with the person that's had experience in a workplace because they know how it's structured and all that kind of stuff. It'd be the same thing as me trying to do a different job that wasn't chefing, right? So like say I went into finance. Well, a lot of my
Imagine
skills
if you went
that
and did administration with lots of typing.
God. See, exactly right.
Could you imagine?
If I went to that, I'd be terrible. I'd be terrible. I wouldn't be able to get a job because I have no experience without going out, getting some training, and like teaching myself what I need to do and how that industry works. I'd have no idea.
It's a scary thought.
I'm now a chef forever, and I'm never doing anything else ever again,
dude. You say that, dude, but you could like open up your own cafe. You're as a chef, dude. You've got a trade that you could do so much. I've seen,
which is fine.
I've seen what my mum has done from being a chef to what she does now, and how successful she's been through her own business. Like, just because you're a chef working from someone else doesn't mean that's got to be the end. You know what I mean? There's so much you can do, dude. Look how many successful chefs there are in the world.
That's it. At the moment, I'm looking because of the position I'm in now. I kind of given up my career for a little bit because it was just I was living in a small town in New South Wales. I kind of hit the ceiling there. There was nowhere to go. The pay wasn't better. Wasn't learning anything. So I just got bored and complacent and just kind of stopped. So I go to work and do the thing. And then we decided to move up to Brisbane, and I started looking at jobs up here, and I found like there's this whole like corporate side to the industry, which I'd never really known about, and so I was like, that's something interesting. Like I always love watching how businesses work, and how, especially like through gaming, watching like how gaming companies are doing their promotions and how they're running their operations is always kind of interesting to me. So I've always kind of watched it happen and like learning through that.
Once you find your passion in whatever you're trying to do, you should be fine. So I think that's the thing too, though. Like a lot of people that haven't worked full time for a long time or had like the same job for a long time, there's going to get a stage where it does get a bit boring or it gets a bit, monotonous, and you do get a bit complacent. You kind of do. You kind of take that job for granted because there's probably someone out there that wishes they had that job. But
exactly,
you gotta kind of find that. Like I'm like that with my job at the moment now. Like I've been in my job with my company for 10 years, and I'm kind of starting to get, now that my streaming isn't my focus anymore, I'm starting to really like want to do something different. But then at the same time, I've got to kind of replace that with something that doesn't, affect the household income too much, because we're used to living on a certain income with the bills and the kids at school and everything, that I don't want to go take like a 30K a year pay cut to go try something new where it's going to, adjust our lifestyle so much. So there's so many things you have to factor into, but it's one of the
calculated risks. Like you need to look at it and go, is like long term, is this going to be worth it? Like if it's like, all right, I'm going to take a pay cut for like a couple of years, but after that I am definitely going to be bumping up, I'll be doing something new, I'll be earning even or more than what I was previously. That's kind of an acceptable risk, providing you can support yourself through that.
Some people are talking about some risk analysis and stuff in a podcast. My God, it's what I do every day. What are you doing to me, mate? You're killing me.
This is what I love about this cast. No word of a lie. Like, I've only recently started doing just one-on-one guest conversations. Before this, we were doing a lot of news coverage and stuff. I had another guy that was podcasting with me. He's been away for quite a while, so we left the podcast for a while. I said, no, I need to pick this back up and get back into it. And I've been doing this. I've been doing these kind of just one-on-one conversations, getting people on, and it's really interesting seeing the person behind, like getting to know the person behind the creator, they do and what makes them tick. And I've been really fucking enjoying it, not gonna lie. Like, I used to work a little bit in radio when I was younger, just for my own show, and I've done a few interviews, and it was weird and awkward because I didn't know what I was doing, but I've really like taken a hold of it. Just so much like I didn't even know you worked in finance until now. So
now most people,
you hear some of these great stories about people. Like it's so
funny you say that. So the amount of people back when I was streaming like 5-6 days a week, dude, like an absolute animal, like 35-40 hours a week some weeks, people were so blown away to hear that I actually had a full-time job outside of stream. Like they thought I did this full-time.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I'm like, no, dude, I've got like a full-time job. And they're like, oh, why don't you just quit that job and do this full-time? It's like, mate, if you know how much money I earn doing that versus how much money I earn doing this. But it's funny, viewers, the viewers and stuff, especially if they're younger. So I'm really lucky. I've got a fairly mature audience in my like in my community, I don't really have a lot of young people because when I used to play a lot of Fortnite, I had like a little core of people that were kind of like younger, but they didn't last very long once I got rid of the Fortnite side of things. But through like games like Borderlands, Dead by Daylight, Stardew Valley, Roleplay specifically, Roleplay's got, especially in my time
quite
zone,
a
like
large mature audience there. Yeah.
Yeah. But the big thing is, and you asked it before, why I didn't quit and stream full time. So there's two reasons why I didn't. There's probably three. Number one, the biggest thing is consistency. Like I said, some months you might get paid really well, some months you don't. I never actually really did it as my full-time gig to really have a full-time crack at it to know if it was feasible or not. But I'm not in the position where I can take that risk with kids in school and stuff. So that was number one. The second reason was I've built my entire streaming community during the Australian time slot. Okay. So if I had a choice, I wouldn't be streaming 6 p.m. our time till 2 a.m. I wouldn't even, you'd be a fucking idiot if that was your full-time gig, because if you look at any of the Twitch statistics, which I'm like this big numerical fucking nerd for some reason, all the viewers on Twitch are like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock our time in the morning, or an hour behind wherever you are now, through till about 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. That's when there's the most amount of people watching Twitch. The other side to it as well, to those time zones, is Australians, we're not a tipping culture. So in Australia, we like shit for free. Actually, we love shit for free.
Right,
in Australia, we froth
we're
free
hereditary
shit,
criminals. We're going to take shit free where we can get it, man.
We want shit for free. So when we go for dinner, bro, we don't tip. You know what I mean? When we go out to the movies, we pay for our movie ticket, we pay for our food, and that's it. In places like Europe and America, they come from tipping cultures where their minimum wage is so low. So when those people in those countries are watching content creators, them throwing a couple of bucks here and there for subscriptions or donations and bits and stuff, it's part of their culture. So whenever I used to stream in the late, like the really early AU to late NA to like really late EU, I would make more money in those windows from those viewers than I would ever make from the Australian viewers, because Australians just not part of our culture to tip. And that's just the reality is, if you look at any like really big streamer in that Australian time zone, you look at their potential income versus someone that streams like in the prime American time. So me swapping from a whole core of people in the Australian time zone to the American time zone and doing it full time, where are my viewers coming from? Because they're used to watching me at night time.
Again, basically, like you had your like you said, your community's built around that time slot, and if you just, I mean, sure, some people get there, but they're like, especially because it's a daytime slot here for Australia, a lot of those people are, well, I'm working, I'll catch your VOD if I can and support you through like Twitter or whatever, but I can't be there for. When you think the other thing
streaming. You think the other thing too, like what's the general adult, even as an adult, if you don't have like a partner and kids, what's your general thing when you get home from work? You get home at work, say 5, 6 o'clock, you might get home. Some people might go play sport. They might go for a walk. Some might go to the gym. Some might cook dinner. Then if you do have a partner and kids, you might hang out with them, hang out with the kids, and the kids get into bed 8:30, 9 o'clock. And then you've got a couple of hours left of a night time to do whatever you like. So even if you're streaming to that Australian time zone from 6 o'clock, you're probably not really capturing the AU audience until about 8:30, 9 o'clock that night.
Yeah, once everyone's kind of winding down and settling in for the night. Yeah.
So there's so many factors in there, and there's just so much stuff you can't control. So the third point as to the reason why I wouldn't do it full time at this stage now is because the factors you can't control are what would make or break you as a content creator. You can't control how many people watch your stream. You can't control how many followers you get. You can't control how many people sub to your channel. I mean, you can do little things and little stuff in your channel to get that, but at the end of the day, a lot of that stuff does come with just like consistency and a bit of luck, getting the right people in the right place. But what you can control is, you focus on the stuff you can control. So how often you do stream, what kind of content you stream. If you're really low, maybe, if you're having a shit day, maybe don't come on a stream, because viewers can generally tell if you're not having, if you play the same game all the time. Yeah, dude, like the amount of times I've watched a roleplay streamer that I used to watch back when I first started No Pixel yonks and yonks ago, and how like upbeat and passionate and fucking like over the top they are. And I watch them today and they're just so bland and boring and just dead, because they've just been doing the same shit for so long, but it pays their bills. So they're kind of stuck in that pigeonhole. I didn't want to become that. I didn't want to get to the stage where I was just doing something just for the income. So they're just biggest thing is consistency though, man. Unless I was like earning the same money and I just knew I could take that risk, then yeah, cool. But I was very close, man.
It's a big risk to take, man. Like it's a difficult, like it's not an easy choice, but like if you fuck up or even if you let down, like you like slack off for like a little bit, it's so volatile, like it can turn on you like that. And
the other thing too, man. So it's probably too personal, and you can say I'm not going to answer this, but are you a subcontractor or are you on like wages? Do you like actually get paid like annual leave and stuff with work?
I'm on a wage. So
yeah, okay. So
I'm on a full-time I'm full-time salary.
So you get annual leave, you get sick pay, you get superannuation, you get leave loading when you're not at work, you get benefits, you know what I mean? I get all of that with my work, super, everything like that. I get paid holidays, I get time off if I'm sick, and I get paid to not be there. On streaming, dude, you don't stream, don't get paid, man. Yeah, and you'll find too, like a lot of the big streamers that are getting sponsored by companies, they're like 14 or 30-day contracts, man. And once those 30-day contracts are up, yeah, and a lot of people don't know that. People think they're just getting sponsored for 2-3 years at a time. No, in content creation, man, they're all short-term contracts you need to perform. And if you don't perform, you get fucking dropped and they move on to the next person. So it's very, very stressful, dude. So
yeah, I can imagine. I didn't know that actually. I thought I kind of assumed they were around the 6-month mark. I didn't realize
6 months in content creation, dude. Yeah. So nah, I mean, there would definitely be deals on there where, like, you know, say someone moved from Twitch to Facebook, for example, and they got paid a pretty big contract for it. Those contracts would be more likely 12 to 24 months, but there'd be like heavy stipulations in there. Like you'd have to stream X amount of hours at X amount of time, and you'd have to earn your money for it. So, but yeah, a lot of the contracts and stuff, or, you know, the kind of contract negotiations do when you're going to stream a game and get paid for it, and the amount of, you know, so you'll have like a game company, for example, that'd be like, oh, we've got this game coming out, we want you to stream it. And you go, oh, okay, cool. And then you'll get put onto like a publicist company where they're the ones that do all the, you know, you need to know how to invoice, you need to know have like an ABN, you need to know what you're worth, you need to have, there's so much shit, man, that you just don't know if you do want to go down that business path. And do you know the worst thing about content creators, and I'm far from an expert at this stuff because I'm not a big streamer by any means, so I'm sure someone that's a lot bigger than me with a lot more exposure to this will know a lot more information than I do. But there'll be so many creators out there like, you know, cutting themselves short. Like, say you get given a headset by a company, right? And you make a video for them, you make like a Twitter post, you do whatever you're doing, and you're not even getting paid for that shit, bro. You're just getting a free headset out of it. You think that company cares about giving you a fucking $40 headset? Like,
oh, fuck though. It's $40 for free exposure, man. Fucking.
Do you know how many
times
would
they pay you?
I have been so I've got Astro A50s on my head right now. I kid you not, 2 to 3 times a stream. Hey, what kind of headset are you wearing? Oh, that's a cool looking headset. What kind of headset have you got? You know what I mean? The amount of times I get asked that, I've had people buy peripherals like a G502 Hero mouse or a keyboard or whatever, because they're like, oh, what are you using? Like, what's your opinion of it? And if I think it's a good product, I'll be able to sell it. But content creators don't know what they're worth. So they're like selling themselves to these companies, and these companies are like, they want that shit for as cheap as they can get for as much ROI, so return on investment. So yeah, there's so much to the streaming and income side of things that is crazy. Like, it's nuts. It's like opening Pandora's box. I'm just going to move my fan because I'm getting hot from all this talking.
No, that's good, man. You're good.
See me anyway.
For those on the audio, I'm seeing Steve in his full form, and it is fucking glorious.
Yeah, singlet and fucking shorts from Bali. Let's go, boys.
Fucking love it.
Yeah. So I know we've gone a bit off tangent there, but that's literally me
no.
from start streaming to where I am now. And for anyone that hasn't watched my channel or anything like that, to you know, even people that do watch my content and stuff, like I'm pretty vocal about the shit I've been through. But even if you are vocal and you're honest and you do tell people, at the end of the day, if you're not streaming, people will generally move on from your channel and find someone else to watch, which is a very tough pill to swallow. But that's probably why I'm being so selfish at the moment now, to really just get my mind back into the game before I like jump back into like streaming more consistently and actually having the passion for it, because I really do love content creation. I know it sounds kind of dumb, and I've been somewhat negative throughout this whole thing, but I think that's just a bit of a reflection on what's happened in the last like almost year and a half of my life on the platform. Has been not really a great experience, unfortunately. So, yeah. Anyway, you're going to ask a question now. I think we've covered off on everything from start to finish and whatever. So ask away, my man.
I think we're good there, man. Would you like to talk about some freebies and some deals?
What have you got?
What have I got? Oh, well, what do I have? Over on PlayStation this month for your freebies, we have Control, which comes with the free PS5 update. These are also last week to grab these, so if you're interested in getting them, grab them now. And we have Concrete Genie. Control I'm playing
Concrete
at the
Genie.
moment.
What's that?
Concrete Genie. I haven't played it yet, but I've got to download it. It's
have I put you on the spot?
Week.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's
fine. Oh shit, he's asked the question.
The way these deals run, I'm like, hey guys, here's these deals. You should download them. Because, you know, I've played some of these games. Some I haven't, some I'm interested in. And then I go, I'll download this game as well while I'll play it. I never do. I always forget. Yeah. Like shit happens, I'm like, fuck, and I miss it, and it's gone. I just don't have the time. It's so I actually got Concrete Genie downloaded today because I like fuck the month's ending, so I got to get it real quick.
So was that? Sorry to ask, was that PlayStation Plus you're saying?
Yeah, that's PlayStation Plus. Yeah, so it's your free games of PlayStation Plus.
How does I need to ask, and I'm not trying to upsell it because I've got an Xbox X, so I don't know how. I haven't had a PlayStation in a very long time, so I know with the Xbox I pay like a subscription for that, and I get access to like free games. Is the PlayStation Plus the same? Is that the same kind of deal?
It's pretty well the same format. Recently the PlayStation Plus games have been fucking incredible. Like we've had God of War. We've like it's a lot like all the Last of Us games.
Fucking boss game, man. That was such a good.
It was so fucking good.
God of War was really good.
Whereas Xbox, because they now have Game Pass, their freebies aren't as hot because they're like, we want you into this service, so we'll give you the free stuff for gold, but we want you to get into.
Do you know the only reason why I got an Xbox instead of I've been a PlayStation man since PlayStation 1, and this is the first time I've gone Xbox over PS5. Do you know the only reason why I did it? Is because with the Game Pass, it's Windows compatible. So it was like, oh, well, I get the Game Pass. I can either play it on the Xbox or the PC. It's literally the only reason why I did it. And yeah, so it's cute.
Games with cross save are the fucking best thing. Like even if it's just a single player game, like I had it with Valhalla.
Yep.
And you just like, oh right, we're gonna stream it tonight, play at the PC, and then you're at home, you're chilling out. So I might bang out some side quests, just bust up on the couch and you're right where you fucking left off. It is so good. And now it's on your phone as well. And once reaches its so Game Pass Ultimate, they have Xbox cloud streaming now. I can't remember what the fuck they called it. I've said it a million times. It's gone from my brain. But yeah, you can there are still games you can play on your phone. Like I started playing Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice on my phone with phone controls.
I'll have to look into that. Is that on the new Xbox? Is it?
No, it's Project X Cloud. So it's a totally different stuff. It's an app on your phone, and then you just like connect it up. You play it. You connect a controller if you want. Like some of the games have native phone controls. Like I think is Tactics has it, and
are they the ones where your phone slides into it and like turns into like a handset controller?
You don't even need that. So like these are like touch screen controls for some of them. Otherwise, if you've got a Bluetooth controller, you connect that and you're good to go. That's all it is.
That's
and
so
cool. You can just you can.
Dude, mobile gaming's like the thing, isn't it? Mobile gaming really is like. Do you know what's funny? People talk about because we're on the Twitch topic, like League of Legends and what's like really popular like Minecraft and stuff, right?
Yeah.
But there's games on like mobile in like China and stuff that like fucking destroy League of Legends in the game of player base and stuff. Like it's actually really. You didn't say you don't follow much with Blizzard? Did you say you're not into the
not
Blizzard?
really.
Do you know about the meme?
Yeah,
do you know about the meme?
Yeah, I remember that quite
well.
Where
everyone was waiting for a Diablo 4 launch because Diablo 3 has been out for fucking ever, and any Diablo fans like dying, and then they fucking waltz out and they go, "Oh, Diablo on mobile," and all the people are like, "What the fuck are you doing, Blizzard?" So
it's where the money is, though. I mean, even like COD Mobile is huge, on Facebook especially. It is where it is, yeah.
When I was overseas in Bali, I think it was. So there was a young guy sitting on like a little scooter bike in Bali, had a mustache, and the only reason why I struck a conversation with him is because he pointed at me from down the street with my mustache, and I went over and spoke to him. He's on his phone. This is in like a third world country where they're poor as shit. Mobile phone. On his phone, guess what he's playing on his phone, on his mobile phone? Have a guess.
Call of Duty?
PUBG. PlayerUnknown
PUBG.
Battlegrounds. And this is going back about a year and a half ago, or whenever the last time was in Bali. But just to think like that game was really popular here like 3 years before that in Australia on PC. And these guys are like sitting in the middle of the street, like with fucking thongs they've worn for 4 million years with decent phones playing PUBG on their phone. It's really crazy to think the mobile world is like that big in gaming. Because I think from our culture, we're so used to consoles and PCs, you know what I mean? That's what we've grown up on. But you got to remember this, not every country in the world is as lucky as us white Caucasian males that have had very easy upbringings compared to some other places in the world. So it's a really big eye opener. So your mobile gaming, dude, huge,
yes. Back over to PlayStation. We actually mentioned this one before. Our deal of the week is God of War for $18.
That's so cheap, man.
Just go get it. Such a good game too.
If you haven't played God of War, legit, it's one of the best game stories for the time it came out. Like aesthetically, it's one of the best looking games for PlayStation 4. Was that PS4?
Yeah, that was PS4,
PS exclusive. And it was just absolutely one of the best storylines. I didn't even stream that game. I played that off stream because it was that immersive.
Oh, did you?
It was that good.
I streamed it. It was. I still had a hell of a time with it. I'm gonna go back and do the end game stuff eventually. But I would have like strangled my chat playing that game. Well, shut the fuck up and just let me play it. Like, leave me alone. Like it was. There's some games you can't stream, man, and God of War is one of them. It was such a fantastic, like immersive. Another really good PlayStation game is I've gone blank. You're a Japanese samurai. It's Ghost
just come
Tsushima?
out. Yeah, I haven't played it yet because I
God.
don't have a PlayStation, but I fucking want to play that so badly, dude.
I played through it. It is
it good?
Phenomenal. Fucking phenomenal. I had a guest on who used to be a host here with me. And he hadn't played it yet. And he was like coming up, he's like, "Oh, I've got it in my place." I'm like, "You fucking play that shit now because it is the best open world experience I've had in the game."
I'm deep down.
It's the Assassin's Creed we fucking deserved, you know.
I'm deep down, like I'm a huge anime weeb off of streaming. Like, dude, I really like anime.
Fucking love it.
So, and I'm like really into like Naruto and ninja stuff like that. So I just seeing the samurai stuff on that Ghost of Tsushima, it just looks. I really want. I just don't have a PlayStation to play it. I wish I did. There's one downside to Xbox.
I would send you mine if I could, but yeah, the second.
Does it work on PS4? I've got a PS4 Pro.
Yeah, I played it on a base PS4.
Oh,
it's not a PS5 game.
I might go fucking download it. Wait, it just says on PS Plus for $18. Oh wait, no, this is God of War.
This is God of War. I think Ghost of Tsushima is on. I think there's a sale on that too. I think I remember seeing that.
Sorry if I'm ruining your segment. You're planting seeds in my brain now. I'm thinking, shit,
I'm good. I want you to go and play this game. I want you to get back to me and tell me how you feel about it when you've done it.
Okay.
Because
I've seen it on Twitch and it looks magnificent.
Dude, it's so fucking good.
Just the art style and stuff looks really good on it.
The photo mode I got lost in for about 20 hours.
Nice.
Just the photo mode, just like playing around. It was really funny because I was streaming it. I'm like, no. I'm like, oh wait, and then it'd be like half an hour of me just in photo mode,
my chat would absolutely murder me if I did that.
And I'm like, nah, this is the stream now. It's a photo mode stream. You're fucking dealing with it.
Backseat gamers, man. You got to go here to this place right here. Shut the fuck up and just let me figure it out. Unless I ask, hey chat, how do I do this?
Exactly right. Over on Xbox this week, our Game Pass pick of the week, because Game Pass is constantly coming out with games, so that's a highlight one that's coming new to the service, is Code Vein.
Oh, Code Vein's really good.
I haven't played it. I have some regular in my chats like, you need to play this game. You need to play this game.
Yep.
You need to play this
Code
game.
Vein's definitely worth having a crack at.
I'm not huge on anime. I'm not a big weeb fan, but and Souls games aren't really my jam either. So I haven't really tried them, to be honest. But whatever.
Dude, if you like Ghost of Tsushima, Code Vein would not be all that different from like the combat style and stuff. If you're not in anime though, like the art style.
Yeah,
it might be the art style you don't like. Maybe
I don't think it's the art style. I think it's, I don't know. There's something about it that just fucking throws me off. Right? It's really weird because I love the Do you remember the anime Batman movie they did? Like it was like full anime. It was like they went back to like feudal Japan.
No.
There's a DC animation film out. It's like Samurai Batman and Samurai Joker. It is the fucking shit, dude. If you're a huge Batman fan, you will, and you're a weeb, you will fucking love this, dude.
Is it called Batman Ninja?
Batman Ninja, that's it. Yeah.
2018.
Yep. Watch
I'm
it.
gonna check it out on YouTube after this.
Yeah. Let me know how you go, because I knowing from what I know from you now, I think you'll fucking love it, dude.
Is this a series on YouTube, is it?
No, it's a full movie. It's a full animated movie. So you know how they do like the Justice League War and all that kind of stuff. It's just one of those offshoot kind of movies that they did, like in an alternate universe, they all get teleported back to fucking feudal Japan through some accident and shit happens from there.
Dude, my nipples are already erect. That sounds
fucking
so good. Okay, I've got the trailer up. 2018. All right, that's to do after this.
That's to do after this. Anyway, on to Games with Gold. Your freebies this week, we have Resident Evil, the original, Lost Planet 2, Dendara, Trials of Fear, and Gears 5.
Ooh, Gears 5 is a good pickup.
Gears 5 is a good pick. It's on Game Pass as well. They've started this thing this month where they do like, this is on Game Pass, but we're going to give it to you if you don't have it. So it'll be like a Games with Gold kind of deal.
Do you know what game I played the absolute shit out of? So in my younger days, I used to be really into racing games. So I don't know, did you play the original PlayStation, the original F1? It was like F1.
No, I grew up on Xbox. I didn't get a PlayStation until last year.
So there was the original F1 game that came out, and it was like one of the very first games that came out with the original PlayStation, and Gran Turismo was not too long after it. Yeah. Anyway, I played this game on arcade and then swapped it to simulation. I like kept spinning out the car. I thought I'd broken the game because I was like 7 or whatever at the age when it came out. Yeah. So when I got my Xbox X, I obviously got the Game Pass and downloaded. So downloaded F1 2019, and dude, I'm a pretty big F1 fan, not as much anymore, but this game was just unreal, and it was free, man. Like it didn't cost me anything. I just downloaded the game and got it for free.
Yeah.
And then, like you said before, you can turn your friggin' Xbox off, go out and do whatever you're doing, come back, switch it back on, and you're straight back to where you were. No loading, no anything, just good to go. Bang.
Perfect. That's what you fucking want. Who wants loading screens anymore anyway, right?
The only thing I've got a problem with the Xbox, so I've got the Xbox controller here. So this is my Xbox X controller, okay?
Yep.
This right trigger, when you're playing racing games, it sticks. It's not going to do it now, but because you hold it in your hand, like I've got really big, massive hands, as you can see. But yeah, you hold onto it, it gets hot, and this right trigger sticks, and it's one of the problems with Xboxes.
Oh, really? I didn't notice that. I actually got a few new controllers for my kids the other day because they fucking trashed theirs. Yeah.
Go get your Xbox X controller, do this, hold it down for a minute, and then it's actually sticking right now. You can hear it. Listen.
I'll have to have a look, yeah.
Can you hear it? Can you hear it?
Not quite.
You can't hear it, can you?
No, I can't.
Well, you do this on this side, and this one just bounces fine. This one, it doesn't. I don't know why. It's an Xbox thing. I don't know.
Just slightly out of whack.
Picked up because when you play a racing game, you're holding the right trigger in for so long while you're going around the track. So I noticed it. And then jumped on Reddit, and everyone was complaining about the same thing. So I thought,
right, there you go. New problem to look out for if you've got a new controller.
Sorry, Xbox.
Sorry,
I paid
Xbox.
a lot of money. I paid a lot of money for this console, you fucks, and I got a dodgy controller. Not happy.
You motherfuckers.
You motherfuckers.
Over on Deals with Gold this week, we have The Ancestors for 2718. This one's you start off as a monkey and you grow a civilization. But it's all through first person. Then when you die, you have to start again. It's fucking brutal. I've seen people complain it's way too hard because like you can get like 8 to 10 generations in, and then you die, and you have to start that whole shit again. Like there's no save points. It's just like, oh, you died because you were slightly cold for too long at nighttime, and then it wiped out your entire society that you've built. So buy back to the drawing board.
Reminds me from Escape from Tarkov when you chat out your dude with like nice gear and armor and a good bag and food and backpack, and you spend like 2 million rubles, and then you run into a raid and get one tapped within 30 seconds, and you sit there and go, what am I doing in my life? Why am I doing this?
Why?
And then you do it again.
And you do it
again. And again.
And it keeps
and eventually you start being that Chad.
Yeah, you become the Chad. I've got
B1 with
I've
B1
got a friend that plays it. Yeah, he goes calls it full Chad mode, and he just goes in and just fucking destroys everybody.
Full meta gear, buddy. Rank 6 armor, just go bananas, taking like 15 grenades. So people take like 15 F1 grenades in to kill one person. You go on like interchange. They just grenade.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I'm at the back like a little rat. I'm a little ratting up all the loot while everyone's inside fighting. I'm on the outside just getting those hidden stashes, mate. Give me that money.
Fucking oath. Over on the Switch this week, Diablo 3. Eternal Collection for $30.
That's cheap.
That'd play quite well on the Switch as well, I think.
Do you know what's really interesting about Diablo 3? So I'm a huge Diablo 3 person. I've actually got a command in my channel, which is !wrist. You would have seen it before. I actually wear a sweatband on my right wrist now because of Diablo 3. So Diablo 3, you're clicking a lot with the mouse while you're playing. Right. And it was like season 8 or 9. My whole arm, I couldn't bend my wrist. I got that much RSI build up in my wrist. And one of my mods was like, put a sweatband on it, will feel better. And now I cannot play any games on my computer without having a sweatband on my wrist now. And that's Diablo's fault. But the best thing Diablo ever did was it was initially ported as a PC game and literally built for the Battle.net one, right? The best thing they ever did was bring it to consoles because there's nothing better than playing Diablo while you're chilling on the couch.
Yeah,
it's also a great game to play like with your missus or whatever because it's a fun game to just jump in together, just hack and slash. So I'm a big advocate for Diablo 3.
Mindless, yeah. I think that would convert very well on the Switch.
If you're sitting on the couch with your freaking Switch,
just playing this on the shitter would be fantastic.
Oh, dude. Give me ideas
for
now.
Days.
I don't think I could.
Apologize to you, Mrs. For me. I may have started something.
Yeah. Oh yes, I just got a whole bunch of loot. It's like, are you shitting in there? What are you doing? Leave me alone. It's my quiet time. I don't know how I'd go playing Diablo on a console like handheld after having it on like 3 screens. You know what I mean? I don't know how.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
It's also different too. So what you play the season. So with Diablo, you have like seasons, right? And they run for like 2 or 3 months. And what happens at the start of every season? You start as level 1 character, and then you go through greater rifts, and you level up to level 70, and then you get Paragon and stuff, right? So that's probably a whole bunch of jargon unless you actually play the game. But the seasons on PC, the seasons on PC are completely different to console. Console's really? a lot more user friendly. So PC gamers are massive nerds. So that season where I fucked my wrist and now wear a sweatband, I finished in like the top 100 of the North American leaderboards for a solo class. So that's how high I was sweating. I was on my seat, like just dripping in sweat, man. I had, the World of Warcraft one. That was me, dude. I was going ham that season. It was good. And fucked my wrist because of it. So pay $30 if you want to fuck your wrist.
Yeah, there you go. Brilliant. That'd be the Joy-Con drift could be fun.
So like every single game you've talked about, except for like one, I know I've played all these games.
It's like I've been stalking you for a week.
I know, it's kind of scary.
All right. Best part about a podcast. All right, I need to learn about this person. Stalk mode activated. It's great.
Did you actually do a lot of stalking before me coming on?
Not really? No, I don't do a huge lot. I like to know the basics, right? So I'll look at what games you've played. I didn't know you're into WoW that much, but I'll have a root around if they're streamers. I'll look at the previous games and kind of stuff like that, just to get a feel of the person, what they like, and then if I find a deal that happens to have a game that they like or that I think they may be interested in, which can lead to some conversation. I'm a massive WoW nerd. Huge WoW nerd. I've had a couple of WoW nerds on here now. It's been great. I have no idea what they're talking about, but it's so good.
So BlizzCon was like 3 or 4 days ago. We're going to talk about this earlier, but then we got off track with me rambling. So they're doing Diablo 2 remastered. That's meant to be coming out this year. And if you've never played Diablo 2, Diablo 2 the original, Diablo 2 the original, the graphics fucking suck, whatever, but the game is magnificent. They're doing a remaster of that from the ground up. That's meant to come out this year. They've released another class for Diablo 4, which I think Diablo 4 is 2022. Correct me if I'm wrong, when that's going to be coming out. And that looks fucking unbelievable as well. And the best thing ever is the Burning Crusade Classic is coming out 2021 as well, which is the next expansion on top of the classic WoW that's out right now. So I'm already back into my Discord, which I'd never left anyway, with all my other sweaty nerd friends that are all raiding classic WoW right now before I took a break. So I'm probably going to take like 2 weeks off. Oh, I'm probably going to take 2 weeks off work so I can get ahead of the curve on that. 100%. I'm keen as a motherfucking bean to get into that. It's going to be good.
Nice. Our final freebies for this week. Over on the Epic Store, we have Rage 2. We have Rage 2. Look, a lot of people hate on Epic, and I get it. I understand why, but they have some fucking good games come up, man. Like, just the freebies are great. Like, I think I've maybe bought one game on there because it was an exclusive. I wanted to get another things like Man-Eater.
Don't know, man. People like selling games through specific places to then gatekeep that game on that platform. I'm really against that. I don't look. I understand what Epic do, and I understand how they on sell a lot cheaper to say Steam or whatever. That's all good and all. I just think for like a free market kind of thing, they shouldn't be gatekeeping published games. I think Borderlands 3 did that. First 12 months, it was only available on Epic Store.
Yeah, no, I don't like exclusives at all. I think console exclusivity makes sense. The fact that it's come to the PC market,
a handful of games on console exclusivity.
The fact it's come to the PC market is fucking bullshit, though. Like,
all to do with money, bro.
It's all money, and it's like, oh, competition's good, but it's not. It's fucking ruining shit. I don't like it. Like,
as soon as you said Epic Store, I was like,
oh boy. So I agree with what Epic were trying to do. Like, they're trying to bring some competition to Steam to kind of, especially when it comes to working with developers and giving them a better cut and making life better for them. I agreed with that. I just don't like the way they fucking went about it. Because all they've done is buy fucking massive exclusives and... I can see how
everyone that wants to play it on Steam. So it's like, I guess I'll wait 12 months for that until it comes out. So
exactly, yeah, it's
very disappointing.
It is.
I've had to fucking play games through the Epic Store. Do you know the only game I ever played through Epic in the past was Fortnite? That's like the only game I played through the Epic Store. Yeah, back when like creator code
launcher downloaded originally.
Yeah, well, I had the same thing. So my mate paid for the original PvE Fortnite. Remember how you used to have to pay for the game?
I used to play that, yeah.
Yeah. So I got that. He gave me the code for it. And then I ended up playing the free-to-play Battle Royale. Never even played the PvE anyway. So
the PvE was great because it was a really good farm for coins for the shop. So you go in there, you spend like 5 hours a week just doing a few tasks. You get a whole heap of coins. You go and you spend on the Battle Royale. It's fucking great.
I'll swap my credit card. Yeah, cool. I want that skin. I actually, funnily enough, never really spent all that much money on skins. There's a couple of skins I really wanted, but I always got the Game Pass though, which was like 2,500 VC or whatever it was called. Was it VC? Is that what it was called?
It's VB.
V-Bucks, yeah. VB. So I always got the Game Pass when I played that game a lot. Dude, Fortnite gets a lot of shit, but back in like season 1 of 2 in Fortnite, before like the sweaty fucking nerds at like hyper building got into that game, that was a really, really enjoyable game.
It was. I think I dropped off midway through season 3 myself. I just kind of
season 4 I got into and went, nah, this is getting a bit. When it became like hyper competitive towards like esports and stuff like that, when the Fortnite started getting a lot of money with people doing like arena builds and stuff, that's when like at our age of 33, like if you're good at FPSs, you're not going to be anywhere near as good as someone at 16 that's just got
we just don't have a reaction time. We're fucking too old for that shit.
Some of these kids,
our eyes are going. We've got glasses. So I have to like do the fucking lean forward and squint to see. I'm watching these clips of these kids. I'm like, what the fuck are they shooting at, man? Like, what the shit?
This is coming the other day, and I've got a 144 hertz monitor in front of me now, so it's like a pretty good monitor. My graphics in EFT are pretty good, and she walks in the other day, and I'm doing this.
Right up on the screen, yeah.
Yeah, because there's a dude hiding in the fucking grass and I couldn't see him. She's like, "Can you not see that?" And I'm like, "No, I can't see that." Like, you have to like lean right in to actually see. When I set my new monitor up, I've actually brought it forward about an inch closer to me so I can see, because I'm actually legitimately going blind because I'm an old man now.
Yeah, well, I only recently got glasses like 3 months ago.
It's like living in a new world, isn't it?
And I was like, what? I was just getting constant headaches, and I was like, oh, what the fuck's going on? And my wife's like, you need glasses. But no, fuck off. My eyes are perfect. I had them checked like a year ago. They're fine. I went there like, yeah, you need glasses for.
So are you short or long-sighted?
Long-sighted's when you can't see stuff properly close to you, right?
Yeah. So long-sighted's that. Short-sighted's that.
Yeah, I'm long-sighted.
Yeah, okay.
And it's
I'm
all from
chill
it's all
sided.
from this. So fucking streaming video games have ruined my fucking eyes. You're welcome, everybody.
Did they actually say that to you? Because I reckon that's
No,
bullshit.
they
Because
they didn't. I just make that fucking joke.
Because I've played video games since I was a young kid, and my eyes, like there's like no one in my family to have bad eyesight from my mum or my dad's side, and yeah, like I had glasses from like year 11. I used to always just sit at the front of the class because I couldn't see the friggin' board. And one of my mates was like, you need glasses. And my eyesight never used to be that bad. And the moment I got glasses, and if you've just got them, you're going to notice this too, your eyes are going to get worse over the next 2 years. Because your eyes get worse.
I've watched it happen with my wife as well. Like they just get worse. I'm like, why the fuck am I wearing these if it's going to make my eyesight worse? You know, I'm like, but the headaches were too bad. And he's like, fuck, what do I do?
So you're getting headaches because you couldn't see shit close enough. Like
so I would like if I was like this, like I would stream for like half an hour, play a video game, or glasses off. I'm not wearing glasses because I didn't have any, and I would get like searing fucking headaches. Like it was fucking bad, man. Like it would like I wouldn't be able to sleep. They were that bad. Like they're full on migraines. And I got glasses and I'm fine.
Speaking of bad eyes and stuff, do you know one thing which was a big wake-up call to me as well when I was working lots and streaming lots? I used to get a twitch in my right eye right here, and it used to just constantly twitch, constantly just twitching. And I went to doctors about it, and she's like, oh, are you a smoker? And I'm like, I am. And she goes, have you always had this twitch? And I'm like, not really. And she goes, what do you do? I'm like, well, I sit at work all day, look at a computer screen, then go home and play games, look at a computer screen. She goes, you're either not getting enough sleep, you're drinking too much caffeine, or it's you're smoking. So, and the moment I started sleeping more, twitch is gone. So yeah, lack of sleep. And I tell you what, man, the twitch fucking irritated the absolute snot out of me, dude. Just constantly.
I've had a similar thing. Not all the time, but every once in a while I get it. It's like, oh God, just stop.
No, and no one can see it. Like you'd be sitting there going like this, and no one will see it, but you can feel it. And dude,
it's so small, but it's so powerful because it's such a sensitive area. It just really fucks you up.
Anywho, sorry, off track again. Told you I ramble.
Man, off track is great. I fucking love this. This has been a great time. So yeah, Epic Store. Hold your
sorry. That's why I changed the subject. I'm sorry. You said ES.
We have Absolute Drift, which is a really cool top-down drifting game. Very zen-based, and I've been playing it a little bit. It's a lot of fun. So you just get given a course with obstacles, and you just have to drift around through them. Very precise in the way it does it. Like there's one bit, I'm stuck on the first fucking level because like you need to do these 2 perfect drift lines, and if you're off by a bit, you don't get it. I can get one, but I can never get the second one. I've got 3 laps to do it, so it's just me going around and around this fucking loop. But the thing is,
that'd tilt me.
That's the thing though. Normally that would piss me off and be like, all right, I need to give up on this now. But it's not frustrating. Like you're right, okay, I did this.
I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed
to learning.
2 perfect drifts on the first course. Fuck that. He's got time. Move on. Next game.
Next game. Yeah, great game. If you're into drifting cars, it might be something worth looking at. Other one is Rage 2. The last freebie on the Epic Store.
I have played Rage 2.
I held off on it because it looked really cool. I played the first Rage when they announced it, and I was like, well, this is fucking dull. I'm like, oh, it's an older game. We'll see what the sequel's like. And then I kind of waited for the reviews. You know, I thought I'd be smart about it. You know, Anthem's burnt me way too hard. Now I'm extra cautious.
So I did the same as you. I played the original Rage, and I actually didn't mind the original Rage. It was a little bit boring. I actually did it sponsored. I did two 3-hour sponsored streams of Rage 2. I actually really enjoyed it. It's not a game I would play a lot of, but it's very high action, fast paced. So if you play a lot of like Borderlands games, you will like Rage 2. 100%.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Because I know that id Software did the shooting of the game, which is the fucking Doom is an incredible fucking game to play.
Dude, the shooting mechanics in Rage 2 are unbelievable. It's just the storyline that lets the game down, in my opinion.
Yeah, I've heard there's a bit of storyline, a lot of kind of dead areas between the fun.
Yeah, like you get a vehicle. Walking. Yeah, so you get access at the start of the game. You don't use a lot of vehicles, and you go to like a lot of really like high pop areas to begin with, and it's really fun. Like it's really like the shooting stuff, and that's really really good. Thank you. Like the shooting stuff, and that's. Yeah, the actual sequences and stuff and the gun mechanics are fantastic. And the game aesthetically looks really good. but it's very repetitious. And then in between driving between each zone, it's good because it's free flowing. You can kind of go do what you want to do, but if you like the kind of game that kind of tells you where to go, you won't really like it. Again, if you like the Borderlands franchise, you will like Rage 2. And if you liked Rage 1, it shits all over fucking Rage 1 because they're just from the gun mechanics alone. Did you say, is it free?
Yeah, this is free on Epic this week.
Yeah. Dude, you'll get 5 to 8 hours gameplay for free. Do it. It's definitely worth that.
Oh, sweet.
I would recommend
I'll put it on my list of things I need to download and then try not to forget it.
Good gun mechanics, dude. That's probably like the big selling point to it. Yeah.
Yeah, sweet.
For someone like me that plays like Escape from Tarkov, where like gun mechanics and like realism and stuff is really good, the Rage has got really good gun mechanics. So
nice. Well, that is all she wrote. That's all we've got for this week. That's the deals out of the way. Steve,
how long did we go for? I'm sorry.
Nearly 2.5 hours.
Sorry.
That is my second longest podcast to date.
Dude, I told you before going into this, I don't shut the fuck up. I'm so sorry.
Don't, man. This has been fucking phenomenal. I have loved it. It has been a great 2.5 hours. I've learned so much about you and so much about just everything in general. It's been fucking fantastic. So thank you so much for coming on and kind of sharing your story and how things are. It's been really good. Thing I didn't do at the start, we can do now a little bit, I guess, is who are you and where can we find you on the fucking internet?
So Shaggy _Steve. That's pretty much where you find me. So I do stream on Twitch. When I am streaming back on Twitch, I normally do roleplay, as we've probably discussed a lot of tonight. A lot of people realize that. So I normally do roleplay on NoPixel. I'm not limited to that. I do a little bit of everything, but roleplay is probably like my primary thing when I'm on Twitch. I am on YouTube. I've done a few like Escape from Tarkov guides on YouTube. I just started learning. I needed to like get my creative brain going. So I started to learn how to do video edit. So I've done like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've done 5 EFT videos and 2 of them have 2,000 views. So I thought that was really good for someone that's like not even on YouTube really. So yeah. So, I mean, there's a couple there that have only got like a couple of hundred views, but I thought that was really good for someone that's kind of just sharing like information about the game. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Twitter, I'm on the same thing.
Awesome. All those
if you,
down the line too, guys.
2.5 hours of me fucking talking shit. That's pretty much all I do. If you're this far,
you should be fucking following this man already. So go and do it.
Yeah.
Because
sorry, guys. I talk too much.
No, it's good. Don't apologize. I like this. This is fantastic.
I got a funny podcast story for you, right?
Yeah,
so there was this guy, and his name's Nate. Anyway, he had a podcast with another guy. It was a really, really big podcast back in the day. Anyway, they were like wrapping this podcast up. Okay. And I went on one of their, I was meant to go on their podcast like about 7 or 8 episodes before they finally finished. So I went on as the last podcast. And I remember the guy messaging me after. He's like, dude, it's the last podcast. And I just wanted you to shut the fuck up, but you just didn't stop talking. Like, he'd obviously lost the passion at this time. But I didn't know. Like, I'd never been on a podcast before. And I didn't know that
was your first one, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I've been on heaps, dude. Like, I actually really enjoyed the podcasting side, especially when you're talking about content creation, because I like to be fairly vocal about like the pros and the cons. We didn't really go over many pros, which we could probably do that in another podcast. I can tell you about.
Yeah, man, I would be more than happy to have you on another.
Dude, I could tell you I've had some of the best amazing opportunities, like with like especially with like Logitech and Astro and stuff, and like I'm sponsored by these guys, so like I get all this shit for free. So
yeah,
I can tell you so many stories about the stuff I've done with these guys and the companies and the avenues and the sponsored streams and being flown to Sydney and like, you know, events. And there's a really good life to the content creator life, but it's fucking tough. So I could definitely come another one and tell you about all the cool shit I've gotten up to. That's for sure.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I just had a tough last year and a half, bro. So I was sorry to come across as a bit negative if it did.
Not at all, man. Like that's the thing though. Like this is the like getting to know the people and what they're going through behind what is happening and how they operate and what makes them tick. And that's what I enjoy. And that's where I've kind of been pushing the direction of this cast recently. And I've been having a fucking blast with it and getting conversations like with you when you as knowledgeable as you are, because you've been through it all. It's
I wouldn't say I'm that knowledgeable. Dude, you go back to like
comparatively to me.
Yeah, see, that's the thing, right? Like, I can come across as like really arrogant with streaming, which I fucking hate because I try to be really down to earth as much as I possibly can be, because there's nothing worse than like the one thing I hate in the streaming world is like if people get a sense of entitlement once they start getting to a certain point in their streaming life. And dude, I got there like when I was like, you know, first got partnered, was doing really well in role play. I thought my shit didn't stink, blah, blah, blah. But you definitely when you come crashing down to earth, at the end of the day, we're just human beings like everyone. So I like people to know that, yeah, it's not always roses out there, but it is a very, very good thing. If you can get some traction on the platform and you're passionate about it, you can definitely do a lot with streaming. And it's free, man. Anyone can do it. You just have to have a fucking computer and the internet and you can do it. Like, it's all free source stuff. Don't have to pay for shit, dude.
You have to pay for shit. And we love fucking free shit.
And if you go and do one thing I'm really against is like Twitch fucking coaching and stuff. Do not pay some dumb cunt to fucking teach you how to stream, dude. Just start your stream and jump on YouTube and watch a video or two. It's really not that tough. Like, you don't need some fucking person.
You pick it if you're not worried. Like, if you don't learn from your experiences as you go, you're gonna be a shitter streamer for it. That's how it works.
So if you just jump into YouTube and go how to fucking stream, you will find that's how I learned how to set like OBS and do game captures and stuff. There's people that have made content for it, right? But yeah, you don't need a fucking Twitch coach to teach you how to stream, dude. Just start a stream, find a game you like, and fucking have a good time. And if you blow up, good on you. And if you don't, whatever.
Have fun anyway. Yeah, that's it.
So you can find me Shaggy_Steve. I've tangented again. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I'm ft.Puppiez. You know where to find me. Twitter, Twitch, all that shit. ft_Puppiez with a fucking Z. If you would like to get in touch with a podcast, you can find us on Twitter at @left_pod. You can also find us on Instagram at 2leftthumbspodcast. The video version of this will be available on our YouTube channel. Links for that will be down below because we're not cool enough for a custom nameplate just yet. And as always, if you're listening on the audio, don't forget to rate, review, send us some love. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening. Steve, thank you for joining us.
Welcome.
You all have a fantastic week.
Sorry for your second longest podcast. My bad.
No. Best thing ever. Ladies and gentlemen, have a fantastic week. Talk at you next time. Bye.